good evening, everyone, and or wherever you are in the world, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to a very special climactic evening here on the Amphitheater as we have our third season of Bleeds in the Dark, Blood In, Blood Out, our campaign finale. Super excited. I'm positively like over the moon, adrenaline super high, so excited. So a couple things before we get into it. So first thing is if you haven't followed the channel, you totally should. There's a little button right there to remind you, not a big deal. And Blood in, Blood Out is also appropriate. Boy, is it. There are a lot of people in our wake. Anyway, so couple notes real quick programming wise. So if you've been living under a rock, no Duval's Game Me Journey yesterday because I don't have a computer right now. Well, I have a computer. I have a laptop. My gaming desktop is off the fritz right now, and I hopefully will get it back sometime soon because I miss Final Fantasy IX and VV and all that good stuff. Also, Tadori Fields of Wonder came back on Tuesday night, episode 5, which was emotional damage AF. So make sure to check that out. It is live on our YouTube channel. I haven't tweeted out about it yet because I'm waiting for the fucking high def version before that. So it's all in our little playlist here, just like this episode will be probably sometime this weekend of Blood In, Blood Out. And lastly, we are affiliated both with Start Playing, and so if you want to check that out and play some games online and you're having a bit of trouble, check that out. We have a link somewhere in the Twitch chat eventually when Nightbot decides to do its job. As well, of course, as our friends over at Session Zero Clothing. They have really badass TTRPG clothing, accoutrement, and etc. And they're super badass. And we also have a code for that I don't remember right now. I'm a professional. And anyway, before I hand over to Nate, just wanted to say thanks if you are watching this much later, or you are like, dude, I'm gonna go watch the first 2 seasons over on Josh's channel, which you totally fucking should. It's so fucking good. If you've been watching the intro, there's a reference to our previous characters. So you should make sure to do that. And then also come back over here and hang out with us for a little while. I think that's it. All the stuff. Also, I'm Jacob Plick, Duval King Jacob on the Twitters and Instas. I use he, him pronouns. And tonight I'm playing Isaac Sutherland, aka Teddy, and he is the group's hound. He's got a really cool doggo named Ollie. Aussie Shepherd. Super adorable. Killer ass badass. Lynn, you want to go next?
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, Gremlin Art, Shive, and tonight I am playing Choir, they, them, the crew's former Whisper, current vampire.
Love that. Hannah!
How do you follow a vampire? I mean,
I know, right? Oh no, you got something special.
I'm Hannah. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Dr. Perdita Glimmerdusk, our group's leech.
Hell yeah. The man on the ones and twos who saved my ass this entire campaign, Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh, at Saverick on the Twitterverse. I use he, they pronouns, and tonight I'm playing Ivanti Reiter, who is the group's lurk. I actually got it right this time. Already had it pulled up, so...
Bringing it home. Speaking of bringing it home.
Fucking pro on the last episode, buddy.
Yo, exactly. That's when to bring out all the big guns. Speaking of the man that's going to be pointing guns at us, Nate, hi, how are you? What are you doing?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Nathan, he, him pronouns, and I'm the narrator for this amazing group. At Not Another Nate on Twitter and Discord, stuff like that. So we're going to jump in just as a word of caution to everyone. This is a more adult stream. This is pretty grim dark, and so there may be there will be instances of violence with this group, no doubt about that. But adult situations, violence, maybe even body horror, not graphic, but still it could be there. If that's not something that you can handle tonight, we'd ask you tune in or flip to something else. We appreciate it. Just want to make sure everybody's covered in that, though. This will be an adult stream. for those aspects only. Again, we have other things. We have X cards, so it's not that kind of
You didn't
adult
help.
stream.
You did not help at all. But
Yeah, I did not bring out the big gun.
That was hilarious. This will be an adult stream for those aspects at least.
yeah, right. And also X cards.
The rest of it's just like dick and fart jokes. That's all.
You know, so some of us are on our A game, some of us are not on our A game. Josh, just, you don't
It's all
want to
good.
call anybody out.
Avanti's dying first. Here it comes.
It's fine.
Any fucking way. I'm Nathan. I'm the narrator for this amazing group. And one last time, for the final time, welcome to episode 8, Blades in the Dark, Blood In, Blood Out, A Red Tide Rises.
And we're good.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Again, Blades of the Dark, episode 8, Blood In, Blood Out. We jumped from a score last time. Usually we do a score in a downtime. Now we're doing 2 scores in a row to finish this out. In between, all of our players have wiped their stress and moved their injuries down 1 level. Again, as you know, we do harm in levels here in Blades of the Dark, Forges in the Dark system. So we've done some of those things, and then made sure everyone's pips are all kind of ready to go. So we're gonna jump into this finale. I have no clue how this is gonna go. I've got some things going on in my head. I've talked with each one of them about, hey, making sure that, you know, these the beats you want to make sure we hit, but we'll see what happens. But I'm prepared for just about anything at this point. Again, the city of Duskfall. A powder keg on its best occasion has ratcheted up even more now, with our crew demolishing Marcus Strangleford's lieutenants time after time, scaring the population. You know, people, the Marcus Strangleford's groups are reaching back out to the people themselves, trying to keep everyone in line. So the general feel of the city is tense beyond belief. If you've ever been in a situation like that, the tense, you can almost feel it in the air as people are hurrying to and from where they're supposed to be. The bars, the places where people usually hang out are pretty empty right now. No one wants to be seen on the street. No one wants to be seen anywhere they're not supposed to be at this point in time. And our crew has taken some weeks off in between last time after smashing what used to be what was, I guess, an energy field of some kind for spirit energy. Not sure how that happened, but it certainly did. Releasing a bunch of leviathans into the water around the city, and releasing spirits that were half mad back into the city at large, and with no way of anyone able to stop them now that there are no spirit wardens. I'm sure that will never come back to haunt anyone. But a couple of weeks after this happened, our crew was laying low trying to plot their next move, when Lord Skurlock, the vampire, and Quire's, what would you say the relationship is between Quire and Lord Skurlock?
I think now maybe it's become. I think there's still like Sprout's still in charge, but there's been a little bit of elevation as far as like Choir talks to them as a peer almost.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. There's a little bit more respect from Lord Skurlock in your direction as well, now that you've made the transition to vampire. So Lord Skurlock has come in and doesn't hardly wait for you all to be seated. Is just kind of grabbing you at whatever you're doing in the house that you all have. What's going on? What would be your thing that you're doing? Just you've basically been stuck inside for the last probably few days as trying to stay out of the limelight of everything, and so you're almost cooped up in your own home for a little bit of time. What will they find you doing? If you don't mind describing who you are, what you look like what you'd be wearing, things like that. Want to make sure we get that in as well. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first. So, Teddy is a dark-skinned gent, about 5'9", 5'10". He wears either when he's out and about on the prowl, if you will, a very strangely velvety teddy bear mask, green cargo pants, big motherfucking sniper rifle, very pretty. Along appears to be in his late teens, because black don't crack, baby. And a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. And let's see what else. Red backwards cap typically. And that's about it, if I recall correctly. Oh, I almost forgot. Did I mention suspenders? Definitely suspenders and a super dirty looking shirt. That is like he got it right off of like a sailor or something.
Okay, all right.
Ex-military.
Who's next?
And he's
I
thought we were talking about Hughes.
No, yeah, what's Teddy doing?
Yeah, cool. He's waiting. She has been attempting to tease him, whether at the prison, at his sanctuary, this like combination sort of batting cage chapel that he typically walks Ollie to. And for refresh my memory, Nate, what was it that she left him there? It was a few different things, right?
Genevieve, she left you shells, sniper shells, of spent rifle shells.
Has that continued to grow over time, or is it just like that one?
No,
one time?
there's been shells. Also, where was it when you saw the target? There was a target that had holes in it, as if it's been shot at, that you knew was for you. You knew it was meant for you. Where were you at?
I think I was there. If not, it was outside of the prison.
Could be. It had the words 1 down, 3 to go.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was definitely outside the prison because it was shortly after Nell's departure, if you will.
Okay. So you've just been waiting, watching.
Yeah. Every once in a while, roof ball.
Okay.
He's not keeping like a low profile.
Yeah.
Almost at all until like somebody like is like, dude, what the fuck? But if no one does, it's just another day.
And you know when you've gone out that you've been watched. You have no doubt that you've been watched. You've watched people. You know that you've been watched. It's almost like a comfort, I think, at this point in time, that you've been watched by this entity or by whoever for so long that it's like, all right, I know my captor's right there. Let's just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it's been a lonely existence. Not that he would admit it to himself, but yeah, who doesn't love attention?
All right, who's next?
Purdy will go.
Okay. What's Purdy do? What does Purdy look like?
Perdita is a like early 30s. She's a scientist of sorts, a fan of human anatomy, you could say. She's a researcher professor. So she, on this fine day though, she would be at their lair slash hideout with her daughter Lavender, teaching and instructing the younger girl on her probably suture technique and scalpel skills, making sure that she's where Perdita thinks she should be. At our last little skirmish, Perdita, her legs were pretty injured. So during this recovery period, she would have been ensuring that Lavender learned how to care for keeping someone alive, which is just as important as making sure they're dead. So,
Has there been any talk, or has Lavender asked, or has Perdita asked, or talked about what happens if the worst happens?
Perdita and Lavender know that if something happens to Perdita, Lavender will go to Avanti, and that if Avanti deems it necessary, that she knows he would ensure that she's taken care of. Perdita and oh my god, Choir's host
Nell?
body person.
No?
Nell. I totally forgot Nell's name. Sorry, Choir. Perdita and Nell previously discussed knowing Pi Fritter, and so if Avanti knows Fritter, that would be the best outcome, probably.
Okay. All right. Who's next, Avanti or Choir?
I can go. I guess right now, Avanti is probably just wearing some simple slacks, just a little button-up shirt. His usual overcoat's probably like laid over a chair right now because right now he's actually, since he can't go out and about and get his ramen, he's got to make it at home now. So as a way to take his mind off of the upcoming mission that he's super fucking nervous about, he decided to, cook his own food at home here. And it's actually probably a nice reprise from all the fucking insane things that are going on around him just in this little location, let alone Greater Duskfall. And as he finishes, he'll probably just sit back and sit there at that die that he has and sort of just like roll it around in his hand and think and just try to quiet the storm that's inside of him right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Choir?
There's probably been Choir's small white hair, wears a very fine blue cape with just black almost gives a look of like a silhouette underneath the cape, but also these black just shark eyes. And I think Choir has been sitting on a roof has a good view of the city and just sitting there piecing together, sifting through the jigsaw of memories they have, just kind of putting them back together. They have a collection of probably around 20 odd souls in here, of some ranging from ancient to some that was their old self, which was around like 19, and just trying to piece that together, occasionally holding one of the that Seeker Crows that they sometimes attract.
Absolutely. Okay. And that is where we find Lord Skurlock coming in. We don't have to play that out, but he basically tells you all that As you know, the city is a powder keg. The city is as tense as he's ever seen it, and something needs to happen. The nobles have all left to their other estates for the most part. Anyone who could get out of the city has, and the Scarlet Crew, run by Victor, has basically gone through the city. Anyone caught out is a beating is probably the least of what they could get. A fine, a beating, a robbery, something taken. Basically, just pure chaos, sowing as much fear and chaos as possible. And this is all things, part of the reason why you're staying it a little bit, part of the reason why you just don't want to, again, after the last score, you have a couple of levels in wanted. It's probably best not to get out too much and expose yourself to that. But Skurlock drops the bomb that Strangleford is leaving town, that he's decided to cut bait, knowing that he cannot handle you all and what he wants to do with just the Scarlet Crew. He is going to take off in a boat and go to the capital and try to recruit Imperial troops to bring back himself. But in order to do that, he has to explain to the leadership council, basically, in the capital, why that's needed, as they didn't want to really even put him as the governor to start with. So now he has to explain to the council and the emperor themselves why this would be needed. Now, this is all a convenient excuse to also basically leave you all alone and not. He's scared of you all. He's seen what you have done to the lieutenants time and time again, so now he is leaving. And that's Skurlock tells you have one last chance. He'll be gone for a long time if he comes back at all. And if he comes back, it will be with the number of troops that won't even matter. It won't matter. So that's what you're up against. You know that he is leaving in X time. X is whatever narratively we decide was needed for flashbacks and things, but it's very close. So you still have the ability to do flashbacks and things. But what you find yourself on is at the docks, entranceway to the docks. And as you're looking at what's going on, you know that the Scarlet Crew basically has blocked off all ways to get to the docks streetwise. And there are, as you see boats out in the harbors themselves, in the rivers, going up and down the rivers, manned by members of the Scarlet Crew. So you know that you have a time limit and a timeline for getting this, for when Strangleford gets on the boat and takes off. Is there anything you'd like to do to start this before we roll the engagement roll? No?
I think I kind of looked at everyone. Initially, I don't really care too much about Strangleford, but him bringing more people back is probably not a great situation. So, no?
I care about Strangleford.
Okay.
Immensely.
You do? Then I'm in. I really only had one person to take care of off my list at this point, so. But I'm happy to help.
Well, maybe it will be multiple birds with one particularly bloody stone.
Speaking of that, on a more practical sense, I think I would like to keep an eye on the movements of the Scarlet Crew around that area, especially Victor, to see what their patterns are, their habits, time between if they relieve each other, guard-wise, or...
Basically, he takes the entire crew, and it's now up to probably 40, 50 members, and begins to station them in little clumps of 5 each at stopping points, at road points, and is basically just doing guard checks. When they're dragging out whatever they can, dragging out a cart or barrels or whatever that stop the road, and there's 5 of them standing there. You have watched Victor, say from where you are, you've watched Victor's movements, and he will come up and go to each one of the guard locations, and then he kind of goes back. You can see if you see far enough, basically he's going to this boat that is actually on the dock, far out on the dock. It's a little small boat, not a Leviathan hunting boat, but it's a smaller boat than that. So he's spending time walking out, making sure each one of the little guards or the stations are doing what they're supposed to do, and then walks back. So you kind of gives you the feeling, all right, I know where he's going, you know, where Strangleford's coming from, I don't know, but he's on the way.
So the sea route's pretty unpatrolled.
There are patrols going on the sea route, but again, nothing you can't get past with good rolls.
Right. Okay.
Perhaps we take on one of those 5 and dress up as them and continue the cadence.
We could coordinate with Jonathan to have a diversion in town.
Mm-hmm.
That's also an option. Sure.
I'm afraid the moment they realize that we're going after him, he's going to disappear again. I think we need to practice some sort of... What word am I looking for? The opposite of what we usually do.
Okay. I thought you were. I figured that was where you were headed.
Yeah, we also want him to think he got away, that he's escaping and almost made it away from here. Make it so much sweeter when we eventually take care of him.
Then we should be on that boat then before the diversion happens, yes?
Speaking of being a little bit more inconspicuous, what is the temperature on explosives? He just grins.
What did you have in mind?
Well, since my most recent near-death experience, I feel like it would be very delicious if he thought he was getting away and then suddenly kaboom. Of course, we had to plant some sort of explosive on the boat in order to make that happen, but
That wouldn't be very hard.
I didn't think so.
So is the plan to allow him to get on the boat and try to get on the boat afterwards? Is the plan to get on before he gets on there? What is the thought process? Again, we can play as we go.
That would be a good.
Yeah.
The explosive would be a good insurance, but sure some of
Yeah.
us would like to see his eyes before he expires. You want more than a moment of his incoming doom. Very sweet.
So as you notice, what you've noticed too is that it looks like, it sounds like to me you all are, so outside the game, it sounds like to me you all are okay with him being on the boat. You all want to get on before it takes off. Is that going to be the attempt? Okay.
Yes.
I think so.
Just making sure. So back in game, what you've noticed is you have seen Strangleford's carriage pull up earlier in the afternoon. He gets out, is very much guarded by the Scarlet crew, and gets on the boat. The boat was brought in just for this, and so now what you're seeing the past few hours is it's fueling up, and it's going to take a while to fuel up and get the electroplasm and stuff that it needs in order to take off. So you have time before it takes off. We set the scene right now is that you all are right outside the docks district, whatever plane you want to get on there. Strangleford is on the boat. There is I have a clock started. What is that? 8-turn clock called Bon Voyage. If this,
You're really good at naming those.
if this fills up, when this fills up, the boat is leaving. So whoever's on the boat is on the boat. If you're off the boat, you're off the boat. So we'll play that as it happens. But Bon Voyage is an 8-turn clock. So right now, what is going to be is the plan to go by ground through the Scarlet crew. Is the plan to go by boat? Is the plan to go some other way?
Do we have intel around like Victor and Genevieve around like their location in regards to him?
You
Like,
do
would they
on
be
Victor,
the
you
boat?
do not on Genevieve. But quite honestly, Teddy, you know they're on a rooftop around here watching. That's not. That wouldn't.
That's why I was nodding.
Right.
That's why I was like, I know where I'm going.
I mean, you don't know exactly where she is, but you know
Sure.
they're on a rooftop watching the whole time. Like that's a given. All right.
Perfect.
How do you want to do it?
To me,
I think.
to me
Yeah, go for it.
personally, I think it's up to Perdita. I think she has the most dog in this fight. I think she should choose the arena.
Great point.
I don't want to choose from an emotional place about this, though. So I don't want to put all of you on unnecessary risk as I've previously done.
How's that different from any other time? Ignacy almost blew me up last time.
Yeah, I think we saved a supernatural child from a prison before, and well, I mean, what is this different?
I don't
than
think
that?
you should have that on your conscience, I think.
I think we're trying to give you what you want. Every person should have the right to face their enemy face to face in any way they wish.
I think that I can get us to the docks with Jonathan's help
Wonderful.
fairly easily.
Okay. Clarifying question. So what do you want to have happen? And 2, is Lavender with you?
Yes, Lavender is with us.
Okay, thank you.
And honestly, I imagine like all of us leaving at different times
Mm-hmm.
and taking different routes down to the dock, simultaneous to like
Yes.
explosions throughout the city
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Absolutely.
And like almost like what I imagine is like a trimmer of explosions that create the effect of an earthquake. That
Yeah, so the camera pans, the camera shoots each one of you in the shadows coming out, walking, hitting different shadows, different street corners, different ways. And the whole time as the camera is panning to each one of you, in between, it pans back to the boat, the dock, the water, and the little trimmers. The boom.
So we're taking different ways, each individually, correct?
And then you're meeting up where? Are you meeting up in front of the docks? Like toward the dock area right outside the what we're going to call the restricted zone now.
I don't need to breathe, all right?
I don't think so.
Didn't we
Is
talk about this before?
Predator.
Yeah,
Predator
no.
stuff.
Do vampires swim? Like
I don't think they swim.
question.
They just walk on water because they don't need to breathe.
Or under. I'm gonna do. I'm
They
gonna
walk
do that.
on
I
water?
don't
I
think
mean,
those two
in the
things-
water,
Like-
in the
No,
water.
Okay.
I think with
I was
pirates,
like,
I think with-
Jesus.
Yeah,
You
Vampire
said
Jesus.
vampire?
Vampire Jesus. Yeah.
Now you're on fire.
Whatever. What you know? What it's a finale. You want to walk on water? I don't give a
I
shit.
think Choir's gonna like
Amazing.
use like weights to kind of like walk on the floor and just like, since we do have that communication thing, just wait, float to the boat when we need to go.
Okay. So at the start of this, Choir is under the boat or under the dock, I guess. You can see it up above. Why not? Where is where? Okay, so before we roll engagement, let's set the scene where we are. Choir is underneath the boat. Where is Teddy?
Teddy is on a nearby rooftop initially, with the
Okay.
plan to sort of scale down any like what are the I always forget the name of them. You know those like ladders that have like the
Fire
covers
escape?
over them? Fire escape. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When the time comes. But he's also looking for a friend,
A friend. Yep, seeking a friend for the end of the world. All right. Where's Avanti?
Avanti is also going to be looking for a friend. As he steps out of the shadows, puts his little cap on, and for the first time breaks out a actual blade, not like a knife, but a fucking sword, from the shadows as he's walking out towards the closest group where he can find Victor, because if we can get Victor away, that would probably put a lot less stress on things.
What does the sword look like?
It's just a simple sword. I mean, like a long curved blade. Almost, I don't want to say like a katana because that just seems lame. But
A Nopesh? Is it a Nopesh or whatever? It's got the thing, the flare or whatever.
yeah, it's I can't think of it's like a spoth, not a spatha, but the Greek version. I can't think what the word is.
Okay.
You know what I'm
cool.
talking about, though.
Yeah. But it's purely it's utilitarian. Like there's it's not flashy. It's not for show. This is to slice and cut and
Yeah.
kill.
This is like a chopping blade.
Okay. All right. And then where is our good doctor?
I think that Lavender would be ahead of her, and she would be kind of staying in the shadows behind Lavender, anticipating that if anyone identified Lavender, and they would try to like retain her, then Perdita would strike. So following in like kind of a deliberate cat and mouse.
All the while you hear explosives going off at locations across the city that are used by like the Scarlet Crew or used by Strangleford. What has happened is there are locations of the city where they're either owned by Strangleford, they're owned by members of the nobility, and so you're seeing those locations basically get blown up across the city, just boom, boom, dark rivulets of smoke cloud what is already the night sky and what's already the darkness. But even it looks weird as it goes through all the electroplasmic lights that are everywhere. Makes the city almost like a permanent fog, but it's a black fog. It's not a gray fog like you'd see normally. All right, so let's roll engagement, find out what we get. I'm gonna roll 3 die for this. Let's find out where everybody's gonna start. Everybody's gonna start on 5, which is risky. I think that fits. So that means your first rolls will all be risky. Who is starting off things going? Because I can see Lavender walking. Is Lavender trying to get one of these Scarlet Crews, like guard stations out?
Yes.
Okay. So I think the first words are maybe Lavender says, hey, can you help me? I'm lost.
Yeah. She's definitely doing like the innocent child.
Yeah. So she kind of goes up to them and like, I'm lost. And then you kind of hear the grumbling and mumblings of piss off, or what are you doing? Get out of here, kid. And she just kind of stands there and is being pretty annoying. And one of the crew kind of moves a barrel out of the way and starts stepping out and walks over to her and is like, hey, you gotta go. Avanti, are you at this group or are you at another group?
I'm where Victor's going to be at, so that really determines where I'll be at.
Okay. Do you want to be at this one? Because you'll basically call him to you.
That's fine. Yeah, I want to get him away from was Strangleford? Is that his name?
Yep. Strangleford.
Yeah, I want to pull that protection away from him. And I know Victor has enough history with Avanti that it'd probably be a strong enough connection to draw him away from there.
Okay. All right. So Lavender calls over this one of the Scarlet Crew and they start walking out. I think another one kind of steps around the barrel toward the just to make sure nothing comes their way, and Lavender kind of tries to get him to come over at some point. What action spurs all this? What action starts this from y'all's perspective? Teddy, I'm also going to while Avanti and Perdita think this how they want to start this get going. I want to have a clock for finding Genevieve. I'm gonna call it. Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I'm gonna call it Needle in a Haystack.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a 4-turn clock. When that is up, you will have found which rooftop she is on.
Okay.
That makes sense?
That's perfect because I was literally about to say my intent, which was like, I'm going to be keeping angles, checking to make sure if something goes south, I am ready to go, but I'm also going to be switching rooftops and
Okay.
search. So that's perfect.
All right. So as this kicks off,
Great minds, Nate. Great minds.
that
That's
will
not
start.
a fuck you, Nate. That's a yay, Nate. I need a new
Yay!
command.
Yay! Not yet. I'll get there. We'll get there soon enough. Soon enough. All right. So as that kicks off, Avanti, are you kicking this off on that level on the docks?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you step? I mean, is this one of those like Western moments where you step out and call him out?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like the gates to Troy. You know, at this point, you know, it's
Yeah.
Achilles calling out Hector at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing this right by where Lavender, or we decided you're going somewhere else?
That's if they want to be there, that's fine. Like I said, wherever he's at, I'm there. So.
All right, Purdy, what do you think? Do you want to be where he is, or do you want to be somewhere else?
I think that they're like in the same proximity, but like
Yeah.
ultimately, Perdita's trying to get on the boat,
Okay.
and
So it's like no, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. So I'd say you're probably maybe a block or two away. And as he walks, so what happens is as he walks up, as the Scarlet crew walks up to Lavender, he looks down at the block to his right and sees Avanti standing there, yelling, what are you doing, Avanti? To try to call him out.
I'm just yelling Victor's
Oh
name.
shit.
Yeah, just yelling his
Oh
name.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as he looks down and hears you, and Perdita, you and Lavender see him look, the Scarlet crew member look down at Avanti and he basically says something like, "Well, it worked," and he looks back at the other four members that are like walking that are guarding and says, "Signal the flare. He's here." And one of them turns and strikes this thing and basically shoots a flare up to show what they think is, what's going on. And then he looks down at Lavender and says, "Kid, you better go home," and starts walking in your direction, Avanti. That guard does.
Okay.
So this has pulled one guard. He's walking slowly in Avanti's direction. He's not menacing. He's just kind of walking looks like he's probably going to see what happens. And Teddy, you see when that flare shoots up, there is another flare closer to the dock and to the ship that shoots up. And there's activity on the ship as if someone's going to come off the ship.
Do we still have that connection to each other? Avanti hears, "Would you like me to, or did you want to go for it yourself?" Referring to the person walking towards you.
Why don't you go ahead and give us a little party popper?
Gladly. And I'll go ahead and fire.
Okay. So you're going to fire at someone on the boat? Or
I'm
you
firing
wouldn't-
on the person in front of, like, walking towards Avanti.
Okay. So you see that, out comes a group looking like probably a small group of 4 or 5 they walk off the boat and they're walking down the docks. When are you taking your shot? They're going to be down the docks and they got to go basically around a building and come by Avanti.
As soon as Avanti sort of gives me the word, first person closest to him
Okay. At that same time, Choir,
that I can see.
Yeah. Choir, you see people, you see footsteps, and a small group of people walk down the gangplank onto the docks themselves and start making their way in toward the city where you just were. If there's anything you want to do at any point in time, say something, let me know. If not, I'm going to plan that
So
you're
are they
being there
walking
quiet.
toward Avanti, or are they walking?
They're walking back into the city toward Avanti, yes. Okay. And then Perdita, you have basically 4 people standing in front of you at that. They're all itching to walk around and see what's going on. So it wouldn't take much to distract them if you want to go that way, or if you want to do what Perdita normally does. Just giving you options.
I love that we said let's go in different, and we did the same thing we always do.
Like, yes.
Tell
Why
me how to
pure
play
chaos?
TTRPGs.
That's our way.
TTRPGs, am I
That's our
right?
way. That's our way.
All right.
Am I right? This is the way.
So Teddy, go ahead and fire your shot. This
I
is going
did.
to
I
be
got a 5.
Oh, 5. Okay. So this hits. It does not hit Victor, but it hits one of the other guys.
Oh, that's fine. That's what I was aiming at.
Yeah, that's of course. At that same point in time, you've now made yourself known. So I'm gonna do something I've never done before because
Ooh.
it's the
Finale.
last
The
night.
finale.
It's the last night.
Finale, baby.
We are gonna take that what was a 4-turn clock to find Genevieve, and make it a 6-turn clock.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Expert mode.
As now it has
Yep,
become
there's the fuck
harder.
There it is. There it is. Ah.
Okay. You
As
wanna,
now
I
it has
can play.
become harder to find her.
So the shot goes out, and I just say, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty," and I pack up and I start to move.
Okay. Avanti, you
Yes.
are
Damn, I am
calling out
stuck in
Victor's
this situation. This is amazing. Sorry.
name. You're calling out Victor's name, yelling at him again, like Achilles at the gates of Gates. Troy.
Yeah.
Troy.
Yeah.
And before long, Victor comes walking around around one of the buildings, long trench coat, and flowing behind him with 3 other guys as they step through one of these barriers with some other guys, and basically Victor walks out alone. And he says, "I didn't think you had it in you."
Well, this crew is a mockery of what it was. But do you still have your blade?
Like he reaches out behind his cloak, like to his waistband, and pulls out. Do you have an idea what his blade is? If not, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a really nasty looking hacksaw looking blade. Like if you took a saw and made the teeth bigger. It's to inflict pain, and it's not clean. It's the total opposite of what yours is.
Right.
It's to inflict pain, and he pulls it out and he kind of twists it. I think it's a thick blade, like you've seen like a Final Fantasy game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got to be. And he kind of pulls it out, and flicks it, holds it up, and goes, "Hasn't tasted your blood in a while."
Well, I see you've not lost any modicum of decorum, or, you're still an asshole, is what I'm trying to say.
He kind of gives a gruff, "Whatever, dead man," and comes walking in your direction.
Okay.
All right. So, how do you want to do this? Well, we've not had a duel basically before.
Which is really shocking,
Right.
considering
It is.
we had a practice duel in season 2?
Yeah.
Between Ink and Miss Ink, that's my other character. Between the Eyes and Miss Corbin. But hey,
We've not done
callbacks plenty today.
Not done a duel.
We haven't had duel.
I say so. We're gonna use that 4-turn clock. If you fill up the 4-turn clock,
Isn't it 16 clock now?
Everybody
it could be. It could be. I can always make up another one. We're gonna use this 4-turn clock that was previously taken is now empty.
Okay.
We have a reservation for you, 4-turn clock. So let's see
Amazing. This is
if you
four-turn
can
hotel.
if you can take him out in his 4-turn clock before he takes you out.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Well, I got him where I want him right now, so.
Sure.
Can
'Cause
the
I'll-
building right next to him explode?
I mean, anything can happen in the dice roll. Y'all know that.
Can I make
right.
the building next to him explode?
The building,
Next
Bah.
to
yeah, for sure.
what's
All right,
his name?
so
Victor?
let's do a flashback. I think that's going to be probably 2 stress. Explosive. That's not a big deal to have done and have on you. So whoever's
Sure.
who's running the flashback.
I will.
Okay. So this
Just
is
in that, like, and knowing that Avanti and I are going to be like close, but I'm not going to be close enough to offer him an assist during combat. This would be the way that I would be able to help him out if he needed it. So
Okay.
This is the
I'm
way.
gonna blow up a building.
Are you blowing it up now,
As
or are
you do.
you waiting?
No, I'm gonna blow it up while that motherfucker's walking past it.
Okay. He's stepping out, and so let's blow up a building. I think that's going to be. I assume that's wreck.
Yeah, I'm gonna wreck it. Is it standard effect?
No, it's greater. No, I mean
Okay.
it's explosive. I mean it's
Yeah,
buildings.
that makes it's a building.
It's a
I
building.
got
Nice.
a 5.
You got a 5.
Nice.
You got a
Hopefully that
5.
helps knock down some of his, health.
And we call this
Little-
first
little
roll is going to
shrapnel.
be risky.
It was
Um,
risky.
So a 5 is you do it. There's a consequence. You suffer harm. A complication occurs. You have a reduced effect. You end up in desperate position.
I think we're
Um,
definitely in a desperate position now. Just saying.
oh yeah.
We've shot guns. We've blown up buildings. Bro knows that we're there.
Yeah,
I was actually kind of
100%.
surprised Josh said yes. So let's
So
go.
I think what happens is the you blow up the building, and you blow it up intending to take out Victor or at least hurt him.
Holy shit! That door opened.
Sorry,
that was amazing.
Oh.
my dog hates doors
we
closed.
didn't see the
Hates.
dog
Yeah.
until like
I-
the last second. I was like, oh,
That
what
was
the hell?
incredible.
Yeah.
I love
It
your
was just
dog
like,
so
you
much.
blow up the building and it's like the
And
door
it just
opens.
He hates doors.
amazing.
Your shoulder covered the dog, so it's like like there's nothing there. There's nothing
That,
there.
yeah, like what is happening in Nate's house? Like, I know he moved a while back, but goddamn, keep the
mirror?
ghosts in the game.
Yeah.
The mirror looks like the mirror from The Ring, and so it's
Yeah.
just
Oh my
this
god.
oval
He hates
mirror.
doors. He hates doors closed. I don't understand.
Outstanding.
All right. So what happens is
I love
the building blows, the side of the wall blows out toward the group that was hanging out with Victor, his little cadre of people, and the guards that were in that. Completely just boom out the side. The bricks, the stone, everything just smushes all down. So it's basically collapsed, that whole alleyway. Victor steps forward and I think there's rocks and stuff that hit off of him, but doesn't seem to hurt him at all because he stepped too forward. But it's completely smushed all those people that he brought and the people that were guarding it. But for him, he stepped forward and is basically closer to Avanti now.
You mean I blew up a building and it didn't even hurt him?
You
On
blew
a
up a building and
five?
it took out 10 other people, but
Okay.
not him.
I mean, that
Come on
sounds
now.
nice and
Pause
all.
monster.
Come on now. Come on now. All right. So I think it absolutely does that, which leaves Avanti alone with Victor. So, hey, there's
Amazing.
that.
We did it, Reddit.
Okay. So before we start taking swings there, before we start taking pot shots, Perdita, what are you doing?
Lavender and I are skipping our way down the dock, going to the boat.
Okay.
Make your way downtown?
How are you going to get past the group that's in front of you, the 4 people
I
that are
thought
in
they
front
just
of you?
died.
No, that was another group.
Oh, can I do? Ooh, can I-
Oh,
Yeah.
they'll die. It's cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to die in a grisly fashion, of course. but-
Lavender and I'll play Ring Around the
Salmon.
Rosie with our knives extended on the other hand.
Okay, so what? So Choir, do you want to attempt to help something with this as well? Okay, what do you want to do?
Yes.
I want to wreck the section of dock that they're right under.
Okay,
The
Do
group.
it.
okay, yeah, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so I think as Perdita, as you walk up, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? Stop! You shouldn't be here. What are you doing?" And that's when Choir, you are underneath with the section of the dock that they're at, probably taking it, trying to wreck the struts or whatever to just completely bring that part of the dock down.
I mean, some of them aren't going to fall in. If the ones that fall in, I'll take it. If you want to have fun with the ones that manage to have good reflexes.
All right, so we're all going to make some rolls here.
Mhm.
So Teddy, you're going to roll to whatever you want to roll to work on your needle in a haystack, whether that's survey or whatever kind of roll you want. Hunt, I'm good with it all.
Yeah, survey makes sense.
Avanti, you're about to start a duel, and then Perdita, you're about to clean up whatever's left from what Choir is not able to drag down into the briny depths.
I'm actually just gonna kind of sit back and let Lavender do it because
Whatever.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
fine
let
with it.
her.
Whatever.
She's
I
gotta
still need a roll.
practice.
Yeah. I
What
still need to roll.
what position?
Practice.
Nate?
So this is. So for you, this is risky.
Yeah, I think risky makes sense.
Josh, I will for you. I'll let you set the. I'll let you set what position is, and that's what will come back in your favor that he attacks you with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if you want to go desperate, if it fails, I'm going to come back hard. If you want to go risky or controlled, you know, it's almost like you're setting the fighting style. You're setting the fighting style you want to have happen. I'm kind of let the position play the fighting style.
Right.
Like Jedi Empire on Xbox, just setting the fighting stance.
Right.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah, I
heard
mean, are
that
you
in a while.
filling each
Ooh.
other out? It's controlled. If you're like fighting, you know, with reckless abandon, that's desperate and could be hurt as such. All right. So we have a roll for survey. Do we have a roll for choir for?
Yep,
Is
I
it
pushed
rec?
and still failed.
It's wreck. I am going to use terrible power to give that superhuman strength. So it's going to be like a Leviathan slammed into this thing. Like she is destroying
Amazing.
the
Okay. So that's
the
greater
columns.
effect.
Yeah.
And then, Perdita, what are you rolling for Lavender to practice her suturing skills? Her knife skills or whatever. I don't know. Charcuterie,
Well,
whatever.
I don't know. Do you think-
Charcuterie, what?
I don't know.
Lunchables?
There was that thing of where it's like it's the skeleton. Have you seen the
Yes, I saw that with the meat on it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to stay at that house forever or never go back to the house again. I haven't decided yet, but I definitely saw that. Okay, so we've got one roll. We need some other rolls.
Yeah, I super failed, bro.
What is the position for choir?
Risky because you
Okay.
still this is your first roll.
Okay, and then effect is great.
Is greater. Yes.
Okay.
Your face is greater. Bam. I'm a child.
There we go.
Fives all around.
There you
we
go.
We only had 3 rolls. We haven't had our final roll.
It's cool. I had the Avanti situation right now. That's all.
So I'm going to go into this controlled. And
Okay.
I'll explain the situation basically as I know Victor's a big motherfucker with a big heavy sword. One, I'm going to try to tire him out.
Okay.
And 2, I know his patterns. We've worked together for a long time. So I'm going to try to use Hunt in this case to try to figure out, gather information on how he's swinging, how he approaches things, and
Okay.
just try to slowly wear him down to where he'll be a little easier to take out.
Yep. So is a success here hurting him? Is a success here learning something?
I think the success here would be learning, honestly.
Okay, I agree. I just want to make sure we are all on the same page.
Yeah. And I'm going to
Alright, so-
push this too.
Okay. So as we go back and go over the die, Teddy.
Woo! There he is. Let's go.
Holy shit. Okay.
So
I rolled
Teddy-
above the 3. More than
That's
once.
the time.
Bye.
Teddy, what happens is as you go to reconfigure or like figure out where you need to move, you immediately get shot.
Oh,
I think there is a you're not able to get out of this position in time as often
In
as
time.
someone was waiting for you in this position,
Which is
and
fine.
you get shot. So we're gonna take level 2 harm.
oh, straight up level 2. Fuck.
Straight
Okay.
up level 2. So you can have armor if you want, or you can resist.
Yeah, I'm gonna take armor for sure.
Okay. All right. So just go ahead and throw armor on, which
Um,
makes it down to level 1. So just put bruised or something like that. That is a failure in order to reposition. So you can go back into a desperate action and try to reposition again. You can try to fire back, whatever you want on your next action. So let's move down to go to choir wreck with greater effect. Yeah. So tell us what happens. You're able to basically take the dock. I think there's probably one person remaining because it's greater effect, which Lavender is already taken care of or will take care of with that
Yeah.
role. But how do you take out these people? What does this look like?
Oh, so the dock basically collapses under them, and there's a few seconds where they're bobbing in the water, and then just get yanked underneath, like one by one, and just
Yeah.
disappear.
It's like if there was a huge kraken underneath them, just yanking with one arm at a time, just yoink. I think one of them is able to like pull themselves up out of the water, grab onto something that's floating, like part of the dock itself, and climb up. And Lavender's waiting right there, and the guy's like, "Kid, get out!" as Lavender stabs him. Probably just the quick stab, steps back.
Just slit in the
Yeah.
throat, done.
And
like,
the camera would show him from behind, kind of crawling up and saying that, and just falling slowly back into the water.
hey, Hannah, what's Lavender's like nursery rhyme? Like, I'm right now, my head is like ring around the rosy right now, so like I need to know.
Rock-a-bye, dead guy in the shallow water. Here
Yeah, that's even better.
comes my blade. I hate my father.
Jesus.
Can somebody clip that? That was unbelievable. You were way too ready for that.
Yes.
I have young
Incredible.
children. I sing
Yeah, that's
nursery
fair.
rhymes all the time.
That's fair.
Just don't get those confused. All right.
Yeah.
My daughter would love it.
That does not shock me.
So Avanti, you
Yes.
he comes at you in a wild rage, like just animalistic, smashing at you with this thing. Almost tries to is hitting you, and he maybe hits you a couple times with like the flat of it, or kicks you in some way. Wants to prolong this as long as possible, and may even have a couple of ways to. He doesn't really make it dangerous, but he does hit it. So as a controlled and a 5, so you hesitate, withdraw, or try a different approach, or else minor consequence. I think you've learned something, which is going to give you which is what you wanted. You succeeded, so you get an extra die or greater effect on your next roll.
Okay.
But you know that you cannot use this approach in order to kill him. Like you're going to have to go risky or desperate. It's too much. His rage is too much, and he just doesn't care. So you that's going to kind of be your positioning for now. And I think the next one's probably going to be in desperate.
Okay.
All right. So as we push forward, so we're going to continue on with Avanti and this duel. We're going to have Teddy figure out what he wants to do. If he's trying to get away, if he's trying to shoot back. Does Choir get out of the water, or do you stay in the water?
I think Choir's gonna swim up to the boat and just like claws to climb on the boat.
Okay. Perdita, it looks like some guards have come back from one of the like outlier areas and coming back toward the boat. You're in between them and the boat. But they either need to be taken care of, or you're going to have to like hurry onto the boat and stop them from coming on the boat, whatever you want to do. But there is another group of small detachment of Scarlet Crew that's kind of heading back toward the boat. Looks like this flare was basically to draw Victor out and everyone else to the boat.
We'll rush onto the boat for sure.
Okay. All right. So you rush onto the boat, and then Choir, you're underneath the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Teddy, I guess you're kind of next. What are you looking to do here?
So, in comparison to where everybody else is, that I know where if I know where they are, where did that shot come from?
It came from a rooftop, closer to the boat itself.
Okay.
So there's probably I picture there's the boat and the docks, and probably a first wave of buildings and a second wave of buildings. You were in the second wave of buildings. It came from the first wave of buildings.
Yeah, and I imagine like it's like your classic like first wound is probably like the shoulder shot, and so he'll kind of hold on to it, and Ollie's time to show them your new trick, and Ollie's gonna ghost form, and I'm just gonna point to where that shot came from, and we just hear,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna maneuver down. I don't know how much time it was between shot and explosion, like but did that shot go off of like after?
It went off before the explosion because you shot first. Actually, I'm sorry.
Greedo! Han Solo!
Yeah. what do you want to happen? Because it could happen either. Because you were waiting, and then we
Sure,
basically
I
all did
was.
it at the same time.
Yeah, because I'm essentially going to use my thought was to use the explosion as cover for
Oh
me
yeah,
to
yeah.
move.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Not a
so
problem.
that's the play.
All right. So go ahead and roll with whatever you want to roll to get away, or to kind of reposition.
It feels like a prowl. Yeah, that's a
I
prowl.
think it'd be fine.
Um,
Avanti, go ahead and roll your next round against Victor. And if you have anything in your inventory, if you have anything, now's the time for it. Perdita and Choir, what are you doing at the boat?
This is less effect, right? Because I'm hurt.
It depends on what it is. So it can be lesser
prowl.
effect. Prowl for hurt.
I would
think you're
argue.
okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're
I was
okay.
gonna say I would argue. I think I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You're
All
okay
right.
to do that.
Oh man, I have Avanti tonight. It's happening, y'all. That's a 3. Y'all come back to me. Go for it. Do your thing.
Okay.
Did you see that? It was a
Yeah,
fucking
buddy.
6.
Yeah,
Get
dude.
Josh,
amazing.
before all
Yeah.
this was Lord Farquaad. Some of
was.
you may die. But that's a
Some of you
That
may
is a
die.
sacrifice I am willing to
make.
make. It's me. It looks like it's gonna be me. Let's see what happens. Jesus.
All right. So, and then at that time, Hannah, what is Perdita and Choir? What are y'all doing? You're trying to get on the boat before this kind of crew comes up behind you?
I think Perdita and Lavender are definitely like, we're not trying to like make ourselves known going on the boat, but like we're gonna sneak onto the boat.
Okay. All right. So let's roll something to get you sneak on the boat. And then Choir, are you doing anything? I mean, you're underneath the freaking boat.
Fire is going to use what was it? A void in the echo. Take 2 stress to avert their gaze and fail to observe them for a few moments. So like, so they're gonna just climb on the boat and just use that ability to like make just kind of have free reign on this boat.
Yeah, there's people running back and forth, normal workers, looks like probably sailors that are normal. You can see a few members of the Scarlet crew are actually on the boat, kind of standing guard, watching as things happen, but they're been called down. You hear someone yelling in the back, yelling for them to do something, or it's pretty it's pandemonium, so to speak, and you're able to just kind of slink over the side of the boat, water dripping, and just avert everyone's gaze. No one even seems to pay you any mind. Perdita, you're able to there are barrels and all kinds of stuff that they're loading up to make ready. You're able to sneak through and get through and get onto the boat itself. You know that Strangleford's on the boat, and from watching earlier, there's a few guards there in the way, but absolutely you're on the boat now without anyone noticing at first. So you're gonna be in a controlled action or have greater effect depending on what you want to do with that. Avanti. Yeah, a 6 with desperate. It's standard effect. Standard effect. So I think this is probably 3. I think this is 3 ticks on the clock.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think this is 3. It was a desperate action. Yeah, absolutely. So what does this look like as you? I think it even surprises you that it's like this. What happens?
I had an idea, but I want to save it.
Okay.
So I think with this one. Oh shit. That surprised me so much. I apologize. I was expecting like a nick in this, and then.
No, it's
right.
it's
Like with
it's
them
a,
cheek wounds.
Yeah.
it's a big deal. It's a desperate action, and you got a 6. So that's and you had taken basically all last turn
Right.
to find out more about him, which is why I went from 2 to 3.
Amazing.
Maybe he's realizing that his little playful taps or something like that, or things that I am already anticipating.
Yeah.
That my strength is knowing that he wants to prolong it because he thinks I'm a smaller opponent, a weaker opponent, and no real threat to him whatsoever. So maybe one of these times that he's like, slapping at my blade or something like that, I would like just take out one of my daggers and sort of like catch it to the side, like without it, like,
Yeah.
and just sort of like dig that Kopesh up into his chest or something. I've learned a few tricks in our time away too, Victor.
Yeah, I think he comes back bleeding. Like he has a big wound on his chest, kind of bleeding, and looks down at it. And unbelievable. Like if you ever have a sibling, an older sibling that usually beats the shit out of you, actually get a lucky hit in.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. So he takes a big step back and kind of does the big heavy breathing as the blood is cascading down his chest. And then he just takes that blade and basically is going to try to overhand chop at you.
Okay, so he's stepping back. I'm just going to like flick the blade and let the blood fly off of it. Like,
Yeah,
clean it off.
And then, okay, so we're gonna resolve that while Jacob stepped away. What are you, Perdita, you and Choir, what are you all doing on the boat?
I think Perdita is definitely trying to find Marcus on the boat without necessarily putting them at risk immediately.
Okay. So what are you going to do that then?
Study the boat in a flashback scene.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Great.
Yep,
Awesome.
sounds good.
Great. Are you gonna roll for that?
Yep. We're gonna roll for that. Choir, what are you doing?
I think
Holy shit!
I'm gonna assist. I was gonna say before I rolled assist Perdita with finding the boat, just like.
Can I re-roll that with an assist from Wire, please? Because I
Sorry, that
kind
was
of
I mean, we had
amazing.
to Inquirer just wants to find Marcus.
I have 2 pips in
Yeah,
study.
I-
Both.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible.
I think before I think as Choir is going to help, Perdita's like, I know where to go, and starts heading downstairs into the thing. You know that, so Choir, what you know is that this is actually like 2 levels down. It's deeper. This boat is deeper than what it appears, and Perdita starts heading down a way that you don't think is right, but she's gone. Like she's like, I know where I'm going. Boom, here it is.
Not a
So-
very Perdita thing to do.
What would you like to do? You're kind of left there like, I was gonna help. I was gonna okay. What do I, so you can follow down after, try to tell her, hey, you're going the wrong direction. You can actually try to find the way Stronghold is. You can take care of the few guards that are on the boat.
First of all, we have to find him. So
Yep.
I'll use my senses to kind of see if I can narrow him down. So I think I might use hunt to see if I can figure out where his location is.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I will push myself for that. What is the position?
I think it's controlled because no one knows you're there. You haven't established, everybody's established that you're not really there. You actually can't be seen. Jacob.
What?
Teddy.
Hi. Boy, is bad, huh? Let's see.
As you go to spin out and try to get away, the fire escape, you're going to go down. I think there's there's a little explosion. And
Oh, it's awesome! I love that.
it drops off the side.
She knows
As
me.
if- yeah. And I think I like to have 2 duels with this. I think on one of the rooftops across from you, one of the ones that you may have been looking at, she steps out from behind something where you would need cover.
Oh, straight up. Okay.
Yeah, she steps out, cloak, long cloak, looks like it's got stuff attached to it, almost like urban ghillie suit of some kind. She has your gun set up. And I think this harkens back to something we're going to make up now that we're going to say has always been around Duskfall. And that's
Sure.
a little game almost like Russian roulette, except snipers do it. Snipers do it to, we're going to call this, if you're okay with this, we're going to call this a sniper's duel. This is something that in the old ways used to happen every once in a while, where two snipers used to think they're the best. There's only one way to prove it. So just like a gun draw in the Wild West, you're going to have a sniper's draw. And this means you basically take out, we're going to do this in two parts. You take the bullets out of your gun, you set your gun aside. You both know the rules of this game. So there will be two turns. The first turn will be to see who loads quicker, and that person will get advantage on firing. And then you'll fire at each other until someone drops. Would you like to play this game?
First things first. As he sees her, right? Like, so he explodes, falls like on the ground, like super painful and stuff like that, right? So he's like coughing. It's just like I was so worried you were going to disappoint me.
She calls over, I'm still worried you're going to disappoint me.
Out of game, he was going to. I had something in mind, sort of like that. So I am so down, dude. Let's fucking go.
Okay. So just like this other duel, this will
Fuck
be a
this
duel.
6-turn clock. Let's go.
This will be a duel up on the tops of the building, and basically the rules are it's kind of like hide and seek with snipers on building. You can choose to hide or you can choose to shoot. Cool. And then
For sure.
she's still going to use a 6-turn clock for this. We're going to use a 6-turn clock for this. So you're going to fill up that 6-turn clock. Okay. But she also won't do as much damage as like what Victor would do to Avanti standing right there.
Oh, sure.
So-
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little different like that. All
It's
right.
so funny because like I was trying to figure out. I was like trying to figure out like Gunkata from like what's that movie, like Equilibrium. Like I was like,
yeah.
I've been thinking about this all day.
All right. So that so what do you want to do first? Do you want to try to hide? Do you want to try to shoot? What are you planning on? How do you plan to
Well, I'm prone on the ground.
you're up, like part of the rules, there's kind of unwritten rules to this, and part of
Sure.
it is you
Sure.
both stand in the same position so that you're able to not have one person have advantage over the other ones.
Speaking of advantage, I have an Ollie though.
You do.
Um,
And Ollie that's not on the roof with you, and Ollie that is on another roof. We haven't decided where that roof is, but yes, it can be used to your advantage.
So is she okay? So here's where things get complicated. Because what that means to me is that she wasn't the original shooter that shot me.
She was
She's
not.
just like right. So Ollie's like off to like take somebody out essentially.
Mhm.
And oh man, that makes things really complicated. I love this.
So we can assume that Ollie has taken care of the first shooter
Okay. And he would probably be on his way back to me.
on the way back or wherever you signaled.
Yeah, because like typically like how they work is like he would, if they separated, he would take off, take care of business, and then come back to receive other
Right.
stuff. And so, in my mind, like he's sort of the surprise. So he's gonna. The intent there is he's gonna go after her.
Okay, that's fine. So you decide what move you're going to make.
I'm going to she's on the opposite rooftop from me right now. But I can shoot from this prone position. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll shoot.
You can always choose to shoot or hide. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot.
Okay. So you immediately grab gun.
Yep, I immediately grab gun, and I'm gonna use my my sharpshooter. Now, I'm kind of playing with this a little bit because like it's like a ranged attack extreme distance beyond what's normal for the weapon, or like a rapid fire to suppress the enemy. I'm not trying to suppress her. I'm trying to fuck her ass up. So I'm kind of hoping that like I could negotiate to just do like extra shit, but I'll leave it up to you.
Let's say it gives you extra effect.
Yeah.
So it would move up the effect from standard to greater if you make sure you mark your stress. All right.
Yep.
So as we go back, Hannah, Perdita, you go down into the depths of this ship. Where it's going to be according to some plans. Doesn't look like quite the ship that you had planned for. You actually planned for your father's ship called the Pillar of Night. That's the ship that you thought was going to be there. That's not what this ship is. What do you want to do to make that happen? Like, what do you want to do to figure this out?
Sorry, watching Teddy's reaction.
I know. I saw it. Look at me, I'm failing. Look at me, I'm failing. He was just waiting. The dice were just waiting for me to set up this cool scenario so he could be like, well, you know what? Fuck this.
Fuck you, Nate.
That's exactly what this is. Some bullshit. All right. Well, I don't want to deal with him right now. I'm going to deal with somebody else that can fail something.
I don't want to talk to Teddy right now. I love that.
I'm going to make him sit in his happiness for a few minutes. All right.
Oh, don't mind me.
So Choir, you go the opposite way. Go down the other set of stairs. There's two set of stairs on this boat going down. We've already said that Lavender and Perdita go down one, and I guess you get down there and you're down in like a storage area. Like this isn't right. Choir, you go down the other direction and are able to find. Basically, you're able to follow people as people are coming up and down, answering back and forth to Marcus, and able to find the room that he's in. And there's a couple of guards standing right outside from the Scarlet Crew that are kind of waiting. Let's go back before we figure out what you're going to do. Let's figure out what is Perdita and Lavender going to do.
Perdita and Lavender will probably start to commune with the old gods.
Yeah, you find yourself down in the hold, like there's no one down here right now. They've dumped a bunch of stuff like electroplasm and food and stuff that they were going to keep, but there's no one coming down here. And the creak of the water, I guess the creak of the wood as it shifts and the water as it sloshes back up against the boat kind of gets you into a pattern almost immediately. And you begin do you sit and commune? What does this look like? What would the camera see?
No. Perdita and Lavender communing would definitely be like light, like a light, and kind of standing in front of each other with their palms extended and like reciting their ancient like prayers.
Okay. And what are you looking to happen?
You looking for the old gods to help us to either find him or intervene in some capacity.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and let's make a roll.
And also to protect Lavender at this point. Perdita's probably going to start feeling like Lavender's going to need protection. Because we don't know if Avanti's going to survive Victor. Like, we don't know what's happening. Teddy got shot. Like...
Yeah, no, it looks bad. I mean, it looks like you've lost half your crew right now, without understanding what's going on. Okay.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
So let's make that roll, and then Choir, what are you doing? And then Avanti, I'm gonna come back to you to make your next attack.
All right, so there's two.
There's two guards standing basically outside the door. It's a long hallway. There's doors off to the sides, like you do and see in most boats. It's pretty typical.
So
chat.
Oh,
chat.
God.
Okay.
What is happening?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Freddy was like, "Nice one, Teddy. Watch this."
All right, so
both with the initial shot and explosion. Now this.
So, Choir, what are you gonna crit on? What is it?
I think
What are you gonna
Fire's
attempt to do?
Just going to kind of get in between the two,
Mm-hmm.
then just extend her claws and just like jab them at the same time, each hand just like in their chest.
Okay. Yeah, I think what becomes they don't, because of the glamour you've put on people, they don't actually see you. I think the first thing that comes visible are the claws, like almost out of nothingness as they dig in.
Mhm.
All right, let's make that roll, and then go ahead.
What is the position and effect?
Position is, I think it's risky. It's standard, so you won't be able to kill them both in one hit. If you go up to desperate, you would be able to take them out with a success with one hit.
Could I do it with greater? With greater effect? I
Yep.
would,
Yep. Desperate will move it to greater. Yep.
Or no.
No.
Could I use terrible power for superhuman strength? So I want to just like basically just impale them to the wall.
Okay. Yeah. That one
With
move it to greater.
That sort of strength. It's
Yep.
gonna like basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Mark your stress. What stress are you at? Because this is what, the second or third time you used
I'm
that?
at like five stresses.
5. Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll that. Yeah. Sounds good. And then Avante, you have a enraged Victor basically swinging with everything in his might. This is whatever you're going to do is, unless you convince me otherwise, it's
Oh
definitely.
Jesus! Okay.
Holy fuck. It's 3 crits
What
in
the
a row.
fuck is happening?
Can we try? Oh god.
Oh, they are super dead. Oh.
The finale.
Why don't we roll, Josh? Let's see what happens.
Let's
Josh,
see.
do you need support? Like, do you think that this would be a good opportunity for Jonathan to show up and like help you before he tries to board the boat?
No, I want Jonathan to help me, to be honest with you. This has kind of been something that's been brewing
This
for.
is personal.
Yeah.
No, I
But-
get it. I just,
But do you have an item that you could use to be fine to increase something?
I don't know that I really do in this case.
What are your items?
Like lockpicks, shadow cloak, a silence potion, a spirit bane charm.
Okay, but the shadow cloak. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Who's to say that shadow cloak doesn't come into effect here? I mean, it basically can make you we can say whatever it does, and that could easily mean it makes makes part of you a shadow. You know, it would give you an advantage in this. We've established that he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We've established that he's enraged, so he's gonna see what he wants to see. So if you can, I say we would bring that in and allow you an extra die.
I had another idea on top of
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Okay. You tell me this is your deal. You tell me.
This is the raging monster who wants blood.
Mm-hmm.
So if I gave him some blood, could that put me in a more advantageous position?
Absolutely.
I know I'll take harm for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to get him into a position where I can strike back the best way possible.
Okay.
Does
Absolutely.
it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what am I rolling here? I'm all fucking twisted.
So what do you?
I'm desperate, right?
It's going to be a desperate action. Is
Right.
it wreck? Is it skirmish? Is it prowl?
I've been using prowl
You've been using prowl,
because it's
but you're allowing him to hit you this
Right.
time, right?
right.
So it doesn't feel like prowl anymore to me. You tell me.
How about what if I used hunt?
Attack with precision. I mean, I think hunt would be fine.
Okay.
And then you're going to let him hit you.
Mm-hmm.
What level harm are you willing to let him give you?
At least second level harm.
Okay. Then take 2 die.
Okay. Standard effect.
And after this, I'm going to say because of this, Here's the devil's bargain with this. We're gonna make a little
Okay.
devil's bargain. But That's
Okay.
okay.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting.
Ah.
Dude. It's time, baby.
You're gonna take level 2 harm.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna take the -1 die on this, but you cannot avoid the level 2 harm. You're not gonna be able to resist it. You're not gonna be able to armor it.
Okay.
You're gonna keep the level 2 harm,
Okay.
and you get 2 die.
Can I push and get 3 die then?
You can't actually push and do a devil's bargain at the same time
Okay.
mechanically.
Oh
You
really?
get
I
two-
didn't know that.
Yeah. You can either get an assist,
Mm-hmm.
you can get an assist for an extra die, or a setup action, but you can't push and
Okay.
do a devil's bargain.
Okay. I'll let it go then. Oh, so close.
Still 6.
But still, those ones were like, we tried.
They tried like a motherfucker.
All right. So mark down your level 2 harm.
Okay.
We'll come back here in just a second. Let's go back through these other 3 crits, and then we'll end. You're gonna kill him on this. So, however what you have in your mind for that, I want to know what that is.
Okay.
Teddy, we start the scene plays. The camera plays back from your point of view and her point of view and your point of view and her point of view. Your gun, her gun, your gun, her gun. It does the Wild West thing a few times. Everybody's waiting for their first movement to happen, and then, in a shock to her, you're so quick, basically grabbing that rifle, slinging cartridges in it, and firing almost as they're going into it. What does this look like as this is a desperate action. This is a crit, so it's 4. So as you're going to do 4 ticks on this clock,
Incredible.
because it would be 1 for standard, another for desperate, and the crit moves it up even further to a whole other slot. So she is, at the end of this, she is like pinned almost and taken back. She's not taken out, but she is definitely put on the back foot on this. So what does this look like?
So he essentially, so he falls, and they make eye contact, and it's like the Kill Bill, like boo 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 boo, and he like laughs like he did earlier, and then essentially like almost like this like wordless like communication around the duel, and then he just quickly rolls over and just fires, and just probably like takes out a clavicle, and it's a mess. It's gory as shit. She,
Yeah, I definitely
she
think-
never saw it coming.
I definitely think you hit her a couple different times, once in the leg and
Yeah.
once in the
Boom,
once in the
boom.
clavicle.
Yeah.
You see that arterial the sprays of blood as they shoot out, and then as she's kind of like moving, you see where up against the wall where that blood is sprayed, and you know that she's pinned. Again, this is to the death, so this is not over, but it is far beyond where it started. And
Oh, yeah.
then we move to Perdita. You're chanting.
And Ollie's heading towards her, by the way.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. So the ghost, I think in the background, as it shows her spinning around, that he ghost materializes like around the corner. The camera would show him ghost materializing around the corner. Perdita, you begin chanting, and you feel your mind open up to what we've called demons, what we've called old gods, what we've called whatever. You've done this before now. You've done this with the Warden. You've done this with Demerod, the one you all set loose upon Duskfall. And this new feeling is different from those two. It is, you almost don't recognize it over the crashing of waves up against the boat. And that lapping of waves almost you hear it in your ear like the sea in a seashell. If you put a seashell up to your ear, and you hear a melodic voice say, "You are in my depths, and you call for help. Do you know what you seek?" You've heard this voice before. It is the same voice you heard from the cat when you all first arrived in Skurlock's mansion, and he was talking with the demon he called Satara.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Yes.
I seek the one who destroyed our names and kidnapped my daughter.
And I seek freedom. Do we have an accord?
Will she be safe?
Yes, if that is part of our accord.
Then we do.
And I think, if you're okay with this, Hannah, I think, what color are Purdy's eyes?
Probably green.
I think there is the chanting continues until it reaches a crescendo. And then as your eyes are closed, your eyes open back up and look down at Lavender, and inside are no longer green eyes, but eyes milky black like the sea. And you have invited Satara into your body.
Holy shit.
What choir? You come back to you. You walk down the hallway without a care in the world because you know these mortals, again, these mere mortals, they can't even see you. You go to take these two in front of you, and what does it look like as they die? Is this a shot maybe from like Strangleford's office, positioned behind him as there's two guards standing in there, and all of a sudden there's big claws and just push them through the walls? I mean, you're
Yes.
doing this with superhuman strength.
Yeah, just crumpling through the timbers of the thing, just like
Yeah. I
blood
think
and splinters.
I think Marcus is one completely shocked and surprised, and like gets up out of his seat and falls backwards as these timbers fall in toward him along with the two bodies, and in steps in Choir. All right, so where do we stand? Jesus, look at this. So we
Where
stand.
do we stand? What are we doing?
So we're going to have Teddy and Genevieve taking shots at each other, or to see where that goes off. We're going to have Avanti. You are. Where did you roll? Oh yes. Okay, the 6. Okay, so we need to decide that. So
Yeah.
Avanti, how? Narrate what happens. Show us from the camera lens what happens as you take this hit in order to give this hit and kill Victor.
Well, Avanti has a scar across his face, and it was given to him by Victor a long time ago. So Avanti lets his guard down just enough to where he knows that Victor's going to go take that shot one more time across his face. So as the blood sort of like sprays off the side of his face, Avanti is going to go down to like one knee, just like gushing blood down his face as he's looking up with this one good eye he has right now. It's not already filled with crimson. So as Victor raises the blade to sort of just take his head off, as the blade comes down, Avanti, for the first time that Victor's ever seen, just goes into ghost form as the blade clangs against the stone, and Avanti just whips around with his kopis, just right to the side of his neck, just lopping his head off.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think the camera shot up at Victor as he's trying to figure out what happened, seeing the blade go down, and then it just spins as the head falls and the blade falls right below him. So where did he end up hitting it on your face again?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you actually have blood. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly at this point. But you know that Victor is now dead. Do you do anything? Say anything? Anything happen?
I think that Avanti will throw down his kopis just unceremoniously on his corpse. and say that, and with you, the crew finally dies. Rest in peace, Victor. And just give the head a nice hard kick down the street, just for good measure.
All right. Absolutely.
Root ball.
Roof ball.
Get a call back. All right. So, Jacob, let's talk about where Teddy is now. You're taking a couple shots at her. Hurt Genevieve. But you know she's still dangerous. What do you want to do?
Certainly. He's got some ground to cover, so he's going to hide.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. What are you going to roll to hide?
Wow.
Okay. Let's roll that up.
How about a devil's bargain, Nate?
The devil's bargain is this. Genevieve's men don't play by the rules. They don't play by the rules of the duel. And with this next shot, they're going to shoot back at you, and there's several of them. So if you take her out, you're okay. If not, it's going to get pretty wild. I'm going to have whatever damage it is that she's able to do to you is going to be the next level higher mechanically. If she does damage to you, so if you
so level 3 harm.
Yes, this would be level 3 harm. If you fail only. So like if you succeed at a cost, you make it hit, but it wouldn't be level 3 harm.
Okay.
This would be just for failure.
Cool. I accept. That sounds fun. So standard effect.
Yep.
And
yeah. Standard effect. And it is risky. Like, if you want to make it desperate and greater, you can.
Yeah, it's this is it.
As you roll
This is
that,
it.
Perdita, you now have, for a limited time, I'm going to say it like this because we haven't figured out how this is going to end. For a limited time, both you and a demon, god, whatever, same thing kind of, are inhabiting the same body.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with this?
I mean, it's time to rumble. So
Okay.
let's find ourselves a kidnapping little bitch. And
So I'm not
That
going to make
tracks.
you roll for that again because I don't think mechanically that fits. Are you coming up through like I think Satara gives you the directions to where he is and says he is here. And kind of show it without, I think your eyesight like changes and you're able to see heat signatures and see where he is up in the boat. Are you like going up through the boat? Are you coming up through the bottom of the, you have an inhuman strength at this point in time. How are you getting to Strangleford?
she'll probably take like the stairs. Like she's still gonna be like she may be efficient with her steps, but she's still gonna go like.
Okay, taking several at a time. Have you told Lavender to do anything?
No. Lavender would probably just be coming with her.
Okay, that's fine. So you find yourself, Inquire find yourself at some point in time staring at Strangleford as he's kind of backing away and trying to figure out what's going on. What are you looking to do?
Upon actually finding Strangleford, she will attack. I mean, straight up wreck. This is not a time for interrogations. There's no time for questions. There's nothing else that needs to be said.
Okay.
He just needs to no longer be breathing.
Okay. Yeah, he has this like a revolver that he pulls out from his waistband, is aiming. He was aiming it at Choir, trying to hold them back, not knowing.
Take a shot. Shoot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think as Perdita walks into the room, Perdita hears a shot, and the camera pans back to Strangleford. He's like shaking the gun and shoots at Choir. Should have been a dead center hit, and is like, What are you? Why won't you die? And Perdita steps around with those same kind of milky black irises. All right. So however you two want to decide if you're both attacking. Well, never mind, because you've just attacked. Never mind. Choir, what are you doing during all this? Are you allowing this to happen? Are you taking care of guards that are coming back? There, you do hear that there's a couple of guards coming from on top as they heard the shots.
I think in that moment, the shot did go through, and they kind of like bring like this blacky, basically liquid from. Oh, you want to know what you summoned? And Choir is just going to kind of start writhing a little bit, and these limbs just kind of pop. Limbs, feathers, eyes just explode out of Choir into like this monstrous form. Like the rib cage is made out of like overclassed, like kind of like crossed arms. There's bigger arms just covered in feathers, and there are like eyes. You've doomed all these people. I will let her do whatever she wants with you. I'm gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun here. And like this Choir creature is just going to just rampage through the ship.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll for that. You know what? Actually, I don't want to roll for that. I want you to montage what that looks like, because I don't think rolling makes sense. There's nothing any of these people can do against you. So as we get done with this, I'll let you montage what happens, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Rolling
yes.
just doesn't feel right. All right. So we're going back to Teddy on the rooftop.
Perfect.
So you're able to hide. You're able to do it. I think what happens is you still get shot by one of the other ones. As you go to hide around the side of an overturned table, you know that you're clear from her, and you get shot in the side. I think it's just going to be level 1 harm. Is like they're trying to get you out into the open. They're not trying to actually kill you.
Yeah.
But they're
She
definitely
wants me. Yeah,
Right,
of course.
Right. They definitely are trying to push you out into the open. So it's going to be level 1 harm.
Okay.
All right. So you can, whatever you decide to do next, if you're tired to shoot, you know that you're going to
So
have to do
can I resist that?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
I think
That'd
it's
be a
time to
physical
that.
resist. Yeah, prowess resist.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
3. So you're going to take 3 stress. Instead of taking the harm, what do you do to make sure to head that off? Like, is that they're going to shoot you like out of the corner of your eye? You see the glint of the barrel, or is it, what is it?
Yeah, 100%. And he's so focused on the task at hand that like he sees it coming, and he just goes internally, just like, no, not yet. And he just like sort of whips around, and like it kind of grazes him a bit.
Yeah.
As he's moving forward.
Okay, good. And then we'll have the other die roll for what happens next between the two of you.
What about Ollie?
Yep. What do you want to happen?
I goes from Ollie. I want him to head up to where she is and distract her by like nipping like at her in ghost form, so it's like really fucking weird. Like something's like a bunch of gnats are like nipping at her like ankles and stuff like that.
Okay. Mechanically, do you want an extra die? Do you want greater effect?
Oh, that's interesting. I'll take an extra die.
Okay,
For
that
that.
allows you an extra die then.
Okay.
All right, so
Because that was a consequence of the 4 that I rolled. So do I roll now or do I wait?
yes, you would roll now.
Okay. Because now I'm going to
Now you're going to
hunt.
shoot. Mhm.
Yep. So this is let's go desperate again
Okay.
for greater effect. Why not? Tis the fucking season. And then there's the extra die, thanks to Ollie. Let's fucking go.
So I'm gonna set the scene for that. She had her guys attack you to draw you out. She's ready to fire on you, expecting you to be in one position, and you spin around like the side of the stairs and are not in that position, but you see where she is. So describe to me how you take her out.
So there's actually a couple things that happen. So he spins around like after taking the graze, and there's a moment of pause as he doesn't expect to like see her, because he hid because he knew that he had distance to get to, so he anticipated that she would, but her mistake was she got greedy, and she was still looking for me, and she was trying to aim at based off of her shot being lined up by the assist from her men, but unfortunately for her, a little ghost Aussie Shepherd decided to nip at her ankles, and just instinctually, like, it brings her out of the moment, and she looks down, and that's the last thing that she sees, because right between the eyes.
Okay.
And also,
yep.
because and he just like says out loud, like as the shot goes out, one last present. You're not going to the great beyond. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of our crew moves here, and I'm going to use our special ability called Ember Death. For the uninitiated, due to hard-won experience or occult ritual, you know the arcane method to destroy a living victim's spirit at the moment you kill them. Take 3 stress, which will put me over, by the way, into trauma, which I'm totally fine with. Take 3 stress to channel electroplasmic energy from the ghost soul to disintegrate the spirit and dead body in a shower of sparking embers. So as the bullet enters her dome and her eyes roll back, and we kind of flash back for a moment and see a moment back at the apartment as Choir and Teddy are talking, and they're walking him through the process. And I kind of envision it as like this like sleeveless glove as like the soul leaves, and he just reaches out and grabs it and just crumples it into nothing.
Okay. Very good. What trauma does this bring up?
That's a great question.
And how does that show on? Because that's so we'll leave the score with that, if that's okay with you.
I think that's 100% on.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a chance to think
look
about
into it. Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, look into it.
Certainly.
So,
I'm good.
Josh, what is Avanti doing as this happens? What is Avanti's thought process now?
Sorry, I had to mute myself.
No, you're good.
I think that this objective is done, so we'll have to go on to the next one. So we'll just begin to make my way through the twisted, burning piles of the building that just exploded minutes ago, and begin making my way to back up Perdita.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you see that group that was running toward the boat earlier before the gangplank was kind of ripped away and everything was done. You see them standing there. They all have the Scarlet crew cloaks and stuff on. Is this a moment where you're like you told Victor, Scarlet Crew's dead? Is this a moment where you end it with them too, or do you just leave them alone?
I don't know. They're like faux members to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but they still think they're members. So is this one of those things where? Is this one of those things where I've ended it?
Yeah.
Or you let him go on and leave him?
You know what? Fuck it.
Okay.
There is no crew left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure of that.
Okay. So I'm gonna come back. I like to end the score part with him telling them that, if that's okay with you. Give you
Yeah.
a second to think about that.
Sure.
All right. So, Perdita, you come stepping through. You step up onto the gangplank, or you step up on top of the board and kind of down the other stairs, and you hear the groans and moans of people. And then you see a couple of the guards are like headed your way from different parts of the boat as Strangleford starts yelling and they start kind of running. You don't pay them any mind as you walk down the middle of the hallway with the doors on both sides. You see the door to Strangleford's office has been blown in. 2 bodies are laying on the floor, and I think, Choir, that's when you kind of turn into your form and come back through the other way and go up on top and take care of the guards and stuff that are up there, leaving Perdita and Marcus Strangleford alone. So, Choir, what does this look like?
It has.
There's a bunch of people. Yeah, you got a bunch of sailors and a bunch of looks like a bunch of the Scarlet Crew have kind of like all converged and are on top of the boat trying to figure out how to get down there and how to kill everybody. But what does this look like? How does Choir deal with them?
So like this creature that's like a mass of arms, feathers, eyes, teeth, just like the way that like a kind of Miyazaki monster like just trumbles through an environment, just kind of like using the weight kind of like forces them to kind of like hit a wall and then move.
Mm-hmm.
And in that motion just barrels through some of them, and then you just see arms just like grabbing a few of them, some ripping it, and other ones just holding it close as like they're gonna feed on some of them as they're kind of rampaging through.
Yeah, it's almost like the hallway they thought they would run down in order to trap you all is what traps themselves.
Yeah.
And a few at the back are trying to like run and get away as you come up on top of this ship. I think the ship is now like listing a little bit to the side with all the damage it's caused to it. So it's like you can tell from up here, it may not fit in your conscious mind that the ship is actually sinking a little bit.
I don't think it bothers like
Oh, yeah.
that much. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, it's sinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like okay, but still, I want to make note of it.
Yeah.
All right. So when Choir gets to the top and is finished feeding, what do they do?
Do I see any of the other members of the crew?
You see, yes. So you would see Avanti on the gangplank, off the gangplank, off the dock, and it looks like he's going to start talking to a couple of these Scarlet Crew that's around there. There's a small group of them that have kind of gathered. It looks like he's covered in blood. He's bleeding from his face. It's pretty gnarly look, but he's going to be addressing them in some way. And then I think you see Teddy maybe up on the roof where you originally saw him, kind of standing overwatch up there.
See like the eyes and the teeth smile. It's like Perdita's taking care of him right now. I think the rest are taken care of, and they'll throw one of the corpses to the side, the consumed ones.
Mm-hmm.
What about these ones? Looking at the other Scarlet Crew.
So Avanti, what are you saying to these people?
So I'm walking up to them. And I'm just gonna grab one's sash or coat, or whoever they are, and just rip it off their shoulders at this point. Do you even understand what this means? What you wear, what you stand for?
I think you get a muttering of, what do you mean? We got paid. What do you mean?
Sort of shakes his head at that. This was a brotherhood. It was an honor, a privilege to wear something like this back in the day. Before that fucking thing back there decided to turn us against it. I'm here to end that tradition. And as far as I can tell, you are the last ones. So, I will give you an option. As he's sitting there readjusting his coat. You can either throw it off and scatter like the termite you are, or we can finish this here.
I think there's a quick hesitation as they look back to the boat, that the entity that is on top of the boat, they look over and see some of them, the camera shows some of them looking up at Teddy with a rifle pointed in their direction, looking at you, streaming blood down your face, knowing you're still standing and coming at them, and it doesn't take very long for those overcoats to be like shed and tossed on the ground, and people are start kind of first in like one or two, and then basically the rest of the group kind of turns, and it in just a quick second you're just looking at a pile of clothes, of these scarlet overcoats piled up on the ground in front of you.
Okay. So with like a shaky hand, he's gonna like reach into his breast pocket, pull out a cigar, sort of like bite it between his teeth with his one eye closed. It's just filled with blood. He'll light it up and then drop the fire on top of the cloak and just begin to walk away.
All right. Let's go back to Teddy real quick before we end with Perdita. So Teddy, you breathing heavy. You just killed Genevieve. You're hurting still. What is this? What does this trauma look like? What is this new attribute that Teddy's picked up?
He doesn't feel hurt at all because it's just like a constant set of adrenaline and adulation. He took the reckless trauma, which is sort of, I feel, just unlocks something in him, and he so like even like hearing like Avante's negotiation, knowing full well that like her remaining snipers are likely converging on him, he just says, "Fucking troglodytes, you basic, boring ass bitches. Get the fuck out of here, or I will find you individually and take your soul just like I took hers." And I would like to use command, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. You know what? This isn't a roll unless you want it to be. This is
No.
something you just do.
Yeah.
I don't want to end on a failure on a partial.
Sure. Yeah, I
This
feel
is
like that's fair.
absolutely something you just do, and I think the camera shows those people on like the other rooftops slowly slinking away into the night, kind of like these fake Scarlet Brotherhood.
Really fast though, Nate.
Yep.
Do I see my initial sniper rival from the bridge anywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, but not you. And I shoot him.
Yeah, I think the camera blacks out with that shot. You know, it not you, and then you hear a pow, and then the light, everything goes black. Absolutely. All right, and lastly, Perdita, you stand in front of Marcus Strangleford, who is waving this looking gun, revolver 6-shooter in your face, and has is aghast by what is going on and what he's seen, as you know, someone who's seen something they don't want to see, and someone who's probably seeing his own end as well. I think he like shoots at you a couple of times, and we can discuss how that goes. But what do you want to do?
I think that Perdita and Lavender would walk into the room together and sort of, you know, yeah, he's firing and that's great. He can try that. But she would approach him and in sort of a humble way just say, I have so much to thank you for. And I don't know if we have enough time for me to tell you how grateful I am to you for this experience. But I guess you have all of hell to figure it out. And then she would like lunge her hands forward in like in a way of like she has like a blade hidden in her hand to kill him,
Mhm.
obviously, because she's gonna kill him, but in a way that's not like an attack. It's like a hug.
Okay. Yeah.
Of-
You like grab the front of his coat. Like
Yeah.
he's like slumped down and slumped over and almost like not crying, but like just blubbering. And you kind of like grab his coat and try to stand him back up. Like, hey, stand up. Come on. Okay.
Like, and as she's like stabbing him, which I've already rolled for,
Yeah.
she's definitely just looking at him, half Perdita, half Satara, half, Lavender behind her, and just dead ass like, you've changed the world. And for that, we are so grateful. But you die now. And that's wonderful too. And then I think she's probably going to bite him, because why not?
The big shark teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the camera the camera ends out with your face flashing. What he sees from his side is like your face, Lavender's face, Satara's face, your face, like flash, 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 flash. And then the last thing he sees is Satara opening up a mouth way too wide with shark teeth and just that. After this is done, Perdita, you feel euphoric in a way that part of it is over. Your body feels like it's failing somehow, and you're not really I think you understand why, but your body is failing as you look around and see that there's water that is being taken on, kind of coming up a little bit at a time into this boat as it's starting to sink. What do you want to do?
She'll tell Lavender to run,
Mhm.
find Avanti, and she'll probably head out to the deck.
As you head out to the deck, you see the ship that you originally thought was going to be taking Marcus Strangleford away from here, the Pillar of Night, which was your father's ship, pull up beside yours. It's a bigger Leviathan Hunter ship, and on the prow of the deck is Jonathan, as he is coming in to help or do whatever he can at an appointed time that you all have talked about after he set the explosives. He is standing up at that ship, kind of waiting for Perdita's call on what happens next. He's taken your instructions to blow things in the city and is basically ready to GTFO. But now he's looking to you as, what do I do?
Perdita would probably look over to see if Lavender is finding her way.
Yeah. Lavender's made her way down the gangplank and is running toward Avanti, as Avanti is kind of standing there with a cigar over a fire. I think, Choir, did you get off the boat? Did you go down back into the depths of water, or did you walk down off the boat as well onto the dock?
Yes, I think after they feed, they kind of like everything kind of compacts back into like Choir again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like as calmly as they walk onto the boat, they walk off the boat and kind of reconverge with their crewmates.
I think, Teddy, you also are able to find your way back down the stairs, limping and kind of pretty hurt, but are able to take a few steps out and see basically standing around this fire is Avanti, and Choir is walking up to it, and you see Lavender running from the boat onto the dock, and is kind of running her way toward Avanti and toward the group, and you're kind of walking up there. Perdita, what do you want to do?
Perdita will see Jonathan and give him a signal and she'll get up onto the side of the deck and fall into the sea.
What does Jonathan do with that signal?
The Leviathan Hunter ship would set off they're not like cannons, they're smaller than cannons.
Yeah.
But there is like a signal to the shore
Mhm.
that one of them has died.
Okay. Yeah, I think those flares the flare that you saw earlier, you actually see several of those go up at the ship. So, in the aftermath of this, where does Teddy and Avanti inquire? Where do you stand? Lavender, I think. So I think quickly, I think Avanti, as you're staring at the boat, you see. I'm going to say this, we'll retcon if somebody tells me I'm wrong. You see Perdita walk up to the top of the boat, and you see her body doesn't look right. Something's not right. And I think she looks in y'all's direction and then walks over to the side of the boat and kind of falls off. As you're staring at her, trying to figure out what happened and what's going on, you feel a small hand reach out and grab yours.
Okay.
And just say, "It's okay. She's fine."
I think Avanti will probably kneel down, not like
Yeah.
get on her level, I suppose,
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
her in the eyes. Is she gone?
Yes and no.
Do you consider it a transition of some sort?
He won't take that well. He was already bothered by Nell's transformation, so.
Yeah.
Says, "We worked it out. If we want to leave, Jonathan, they'll take us out of here." She set that up for you all, and she kind of looks at each one of you.
Is that what you want?
What does she want? She
What-
wants you
no,
all.
what do you want?
I like to get to know Jonathan, and then we'll see from there.
Okay. And that's what we'll do. And
You're pretty good in there, kid.
I learned from the best.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So I think the Pillar of Night pulls up, and you're able to get on the ship. Does everybody want to go on the ship, or do you have the choice? Go back in the city. This is going to kind of be the end of this score, and then we'll go for where you all are after this. Where do you want to
Yeah,
be?
where's this headed? Go look into Lavender.
I think Lavender says, "Wherever we want to go. It's our ship."
When's the last time we've been asked a question like that? Before everything, really. I haven't thought that far ahead. I didn't know if I would make it this far, to be honest.
Well, now you have a choice.
I think getting the slugs out of me is probably the first choice that I'll make. Fucking cunts. I'll get on the ship.
What you think?
Or whatever it is.
Lavender looks at you, Choir. Are you going to come too?
They'll look at the city like, you know what? We think we'll stay here for the time being. Always good to build something up. So when you come back, you'll be welcome here.
She says, "Avanti, you're going to go, right? You're going to go with me?"
Wherever you go, I will go with you.
That's
you
what
want-
she said you'd say.
Well, she certainly had me picked. Do you want to go meet your uncle?
I think so.
And he'll like reach down and take her hand. Let's go then.
Yep. I think if anyone else has anything to say before we move into
Yeah.
where future holds, what do you got?
One last thing is
Okay.
kind of hearing what Choir said, he'll kind of go down the gangplank and sort of like show that glove that I mentioned earlier. Kind of want to learn more about what's next after, you know? It seems really cool. Also, totally have my permission if things don't work out for me to join your little club.
Yes, well, that invitation is always open for you, and whatever you want to learn.
Might go looking around for a little while, but hopefully that invitation lasts for a while.
We're not going anywhere for a long, long time.
All right.
I think the camera shows 3 figures walking onto the boat, Pillar of Night, and one walking back toward the city on fire. And a last figure slowly sinking to the bottom of the inky sea. So let's talk about next. Days, weeks, months, whatever time frame you want to choose. What is the camera's final shot of you all as characters? Where do you want to be? And it could be anywhere in the world. Again, you now have the ability on a boat. You could be anywhere. What does this look like for you all? What does the future look like for your characters?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
I'll go
go
first.
Nope. I knew
Fucking
that was going
dead.
to happen.
Ish.
I'll go first. I'm busy. the like Mario 1-3 like song plays. I think Teddy and Jacob did not expect a happy ending for Teddy. He didn't plan at all, really. But he knows what he's good at. He's got his trusted Dargo Ali with him. And I think he'd be an assassin for hire for a while. Because he's continuing to look for who's good enough to take him out. And if it doesn't work out, he has his choir backup plan.
Okay. I like it.
Despite the unstable and recklessness, there is some optimism.
Yeah.
In a weird serial killer way.
Hey, it's everybody does what they do in Dustfall.
Dustfall gonna dustfall.
And then Perdita Satara, the amalgamation that is the two. What is it? What happens?
I don't think that Satara would let her die. So I think that inevitably somewhere she washes up and someone comes across her and pulls her out. And part of me thinks it would be Pie Fritter, but part of me also thinks Pie Fritter would have killed her. So maybe that's how it comes full circle. But I think eventually she does survive. Satara does. Perdita's probably gone.
Yeah.
But
It is Perdita's body, but the eyes are still milky black. And there's a small section of them that walks in the same familiar way as Perdita did, but a much different gait, a much different stride, as if someone else is within there as well. Okay. Avanti or Choir?
I forgot one actually really important thing. So
Yeah.
sorry. He leaves the teddy bear mask there,
Mhm.
and he takes out his dog tags, and decides to utilize his actual name of Joseph Datinguinu.
I fucking knew that one.
Yeah, I wondered, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. Holy crap on a Cracker Jack.
All right. Very
That's
much.
bad though.
Very good. Choir or Avanti, who's next?
I think Avanti would be hand in hand with Lavender as they're walking through the streets, and every once in a while there's a child that peeks out and takes a look and then scurries off until finally he turns a corner, sees a single child just like sitting on a doorstep somewhere, and moves up to them and says, "Hello, little one. I'm looking for your mother."
She's inside, but she said you shouldn't be talking to strangers. What do you want?
I just need to speak with her, that's all.
Your funeral, pal.
Yes, I've heard.
I think she like pushes the door open and just yells, "Ma, some dead man wants to see you." She kind of smiles at you in the way only a kid can smile.
Terrifying but sweet, yeah. Well, Lavender, I suppose we should go in. You'll protect me, right?
Yeah, Lavender says. She kind of gives you the squint eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure.
Come. It's really like laughing, like just push her back to like her shoulder as we just gently push her ahead of me.
You step into a house that is pretty warm and in all intents probably somebody pretty successful at what they're doing, but not showing wealth in any form or fashion, just a comfortable place. You hear voices in the back because something's cooking something or smells something baking in the oven, bread or who knows what. Smells delicious. And there's a table that is set out with some chairs wrapped around it, some odds and ends chairs. But again, just looks it's comfortable. It is a place where you find like you breathe and you feel warmth coming, not just from the house but from the home. It's a home.
Yeah. So he'll step in and I guess take a look around and wait to see who comes to greet him.
Yeah. I think there's a noise of someone coming from upstairs down. Is walking down the stairs, and there's someone in the kitchen. Is this Pie? It's in the kitchen, yes? Okay. Pie steps probably around the corner, hands full of whatever you're baking next. And you see someone, again, like we described Avanti earlier, one, scarred face, looks like they've led a pretty hard life, with a young girl beside him holding their hand. Do you want to play this out or do you want me to?
You can.
Okay. I hope to do her justice. Pie says...
She feeds key lime pie.
Yeah. She says, well, you come a long way from somewhere. Might as well sit down and tell me what you want.
Sure. And he moves forward, and from like from his coat, he takes out like a really old bottle of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "I was told to bring a gift, so this is what I heard that he enjoyed."
Yes, he's upstairs. He'll be down in just a second.
Wonderful.
And she comes in and she has like a pie that she's made and some kind of fruit pie that she sits down in front and starts cutting hunks of it and says, "What can I do for you?" What can we do for you?
He sets the bottle down. Well, there's a lot to unpack in that question. I have a very wonderful child here to take care of, which I don't know is beyond my own capabilities. And plus, there's a familiar force that Preacher might know about.
I think as you say his name, that's when his feet hit the bottom of the stairs and comes around a little older, a little grayer, but not nervous, not nerves bunched up like we saw him on camera last. Relaxed, wearing roughly the same clothes, just comfortable things, but more relaxed is the way to put it. As he comes down, and I think Preacher would just say, "Well, you got pretty good taste on the booze there."
I just hope it appeases you and finds us welcome here. I'm sorry to bring such ill tidings, though.
I think Pi says, "Well, you're welcome for right now. Well, we'll see how that goes. Depends on your tidings. What is it that you want?"
First, in the city of Duskfall, the one known as Satara is on the loose again. He's like slowly looks over to Preacher because he knows it's probably his sore subject.
Think at that Preacher is as you say that, he has taken the whiskey, poured a couple of glasses, and set one in front of you, and has one and is like staring out of a window toward the front where that young girl is playing out in the street.
He's going to turn to Lavender and say, "Would you like to go out and play with the children for right now?"
I don't like kids.
Yeah, I don't either, but yeah, I suppose you're all right.
Okay, I'll try. And you see as she comes out, "Have you ever cut somebody?" And she like steps outside.
I would say she is sweet, but she is not.
Pi says, "That's okay. She's met her match out there."
My second question might not come as welcome either. I've spent a long time hurting a lot of innocent people, maiming, killing, butchering. That's not the life I want to live anymore. And I heard that, well, that you did some good in your time. In your own way.
Yeah, the knife that Pi uses is exceptionally large to cut this piece of pie, but you kind of chops down at it, and there's a look in her eyes as she kind of says,
If y'all hadn't done me in during season 3, there would have been 2 black people at the end.
What we got?
Where's that coming from?
Jacob, you listening to something else? Oh, something else came through. Oh, okay.
That was weird.
So someone's going through. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. I just didn't know where it's coming from. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Pi says,
No.
yeah, Pi's like, "We've all done bad things. You're in good company here for that." Now, that's when Preacher kind of butts in. Doing the good things is a lot harder. That's why we're here. There ain't much good in Duskfall. Never really was. We certainly didn't leave it any better. We tried.
Well, that child out there is about the only thing I have left that's good. But... And he sort of like looks to each of them in turn. I want permission to bring the Ash Syndicate back.
Preacher drains his glass and comes over. I think if you're okay, I'd like to end with this. He sits down in front of you, pours you another glass, pours himself a glass, and says, I think we can do that, but we may have some stipulations. He kind of looks over at Pi, and Pi looks at him, and she gives a nod. And then I think you begin to talk off camera through the night about what they would like to see, what they want done, what they want to have happened, their vision, the things they messed up, the things they've done good, what they've learned from in their life and in their years away. And we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. But for now, you're able to stay there for a while, learn, talk, heal, be around normal people for a little bit.
And let Lavender sort of live a more normal life.
Right. Let Lavender be around normal people. And there are plans that are made. There are plans that are made for the future. And see what is to come. You okay with that? Okay.
And scene.
Choir. You, as everyone else left, you walked back through the city of Duskfall, the city that is yours, the city that is a smoking ruin of what it was just a few short years ago. Your memories flash. I think this is where we get the memory flashbacks. We get memory flashbacks of Duskfall as it was first brought to being, as Duskfall as it arose as a good city, as a city. We get Duskfall in its prime. In its prime of people. We get Duskfall in lots of different shades and shapes and forms. And you look over and you look in a city that needs to be remade in some form or fashion. What is it you want to do?
We'll tear down, what was it? What was the island called?
Sorry, the island that
North.
Silkshore
Silkshore.
Yep.
Silkshore, like, is the...
is the ward. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The one that Randy Rendova took over?
Is it White Crown? White Crown is the nice...
Sorry, White Crown is the elite, the palaces and stuff like that. Is that that's what you're going after?
Yes.
Okay. Is this holy cow. So White Crown is, as we've said, it's the upper crust, it's the nobility, but it's pretty empty and barren right now with a lot of them leaving. Is this the place where the spirits congregate? All the spirits that were let loose from the Silkshore stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. I think, if you're okay with this, I think there's a long bridge, gravel type bridge that is wide and expansive. And I think we see a shot from behind of Choir walking down toward White Crown. And behind them is just a host of these spirits just coming out of everywhere. Is it just like a flock of ravens? You start walking down that bridge, and as you walk, the lights on the pedestals each go out one by one, just as you're walking. And there's a shot of you walking into White Crown, and those ghosts flooding through, like the ocean itself flooding onto White Crown and taking it back. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything else before we end?
I don't know. That was only a little bit. That wasn't like a big reveal after big reveal after big reveal after big reveal. My brain is like soup right now.
I think it's the best. It is
The best kind of soup.
The best kind of in finale, in that you get what you
I
want,
am-
your desserts, and yet we see the future of the characters, and I think it's. My hat's off to each one of you all for being here and playing this.
In the best, most positive way, fuck you, Nate.
So I think that's
Amazing
where we're going
job.
to call it.
Okay.
You all have just witnessed our finale, and we appreciate you jumping in and stopping here. We probably, I don't plan on going to sleep anytime soon as I play through each one of these scenes in my head
No.
over and over again.
Not at all.
But thank you so much for hanging out with us and coming in. I guess we'll say some thoughts and where we're at and what's going to happen from here. We don't know. Again, do we have plans for moving forward and as we go forward? I don't know. So we're gonna take some time, figure out where we're at, each at headwise, each at personal, and then go from there. So we'll see. But for me, for the final time in season 3, I'm Nathan. Use he, him pronouns. I've been your narrator. It is a joy to work with a group of people that you love as RPG partners. Like, this is, I've said this before and I always say this. This is not my game. This is our game. And when you can tell a story with other folks the way we've been able to tell, it's pure fucking magic. Like, it's pure magic. And I thank you all for being here watching, but I thank you all, my players, as much as anything, because as much as the stories I was able to give you, it's your story, and I was just helping it push forward. So thank you all for joining us and for hanging out with me, but thank you for players for being there. That's me. Who's next?
Okay. I don't know what to say exactly, but just thanks, I guess, to everybody here. It's 3 seasons of crazy, fucked up. It's been a trip. Yeah. It's like one of those bittersweet things, you know. It's over, but
it happened.
Yeah, but all the times and all the memories are still real, you know, regardless. Even if we just play them out, I still feel those. You know what I mean? They're like my memories now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
They are. Of a bunch of killing a lot of people.
Right? Of killing so many people.
Oh.
Okay, I guess I'll just do my outro on top of this.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Josh. This is all I got right now. So I have nothing else after this. This is my last thing right now. So...
Follow Josh on Twitter at SaveRick.
Yeah, don't
He's
worry about
really
it.
talented. Put him in your games.
Yeah, put me in your games. Let me destroy them from the inside. All right, that's it for me. So thanks again. Thanks.
Of course. I have a lot to say, so I'm gonna go at the end. So Hannah, go for it.
So I'm Hannah, and thank you guys for I don't know, letting me play a homicidal maniac in 3 seasons of Blades in the Dark, and for all of my shenanigans and fucked up ways of killing people along the way. So I appreciate you all immensely, and for all of the ways that you bring complexity to your characters and to the way that you can play a TTRPG. There's so much variance in our play styles that I feel like this show has really exemplified a balanced game and a balanced character. So I love you all immensely, and
Love you.
Nate, I just to Nate's just so top tier. I don't even have words for how top tier Nate is. But thank you for always being down for our random ass bullshit. And it's just so much love for you, Nate. And I'm going to challenge what Josh just said in our chat, that we still don't know how to play this game, because fuck you, we kill this shit.
We're fucking experts.
And what we don't know how to play, we roll sixes. So what's up?
So what's up? Well said.
I have no retort.
Because you didn't roll a 6.
Nope.
Lynn.
God, oh, this has been so much fun. I am. It is always wonderful to play with you all, and you did so much. I'm impressed by the destructive shit we've done this season.
We tried to die. We tried.
Everything has just, this crew is just like, yeah, just felt like an escalation of the other, and it fell through the entire season, and it was wonderful playing, doing all this stuff with everybody. And thanks, Nate, for running it and being a good little scheming buddy for the first half.
That was wild. Y'all keeping secrets from us. Respect.
But yeah, I was happy to see had little cameos from our previous crew, and they made me very happy. I miss those. I would be very curious to see how they interact with this crew. I don't know.
It will not go well.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Hey, Dad, I'm a mass murderer. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. I'm Lynn. Gremlin Art. Pretty much every Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Catch my art, and you can catch me on Saturdays on Practical Earth Asmophoria for a high-level D&D game, Song Gap is Fortune, where I get to play a just very sassy glamour bard, which is always fun. And I'm doing a Star Wars game in a little bit, starting up soon. Dogfight, where I get to play Rebel Alliance. I'm playing semi against Typer. I get to play someone that's not an evil shitbag. Soon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. I'm trying to put my thoughts in a way that makes sense to communicate to the world, but honestly, I'm just so fucking grateful. The fact that this all started with oh man, that guy Josh is really good at 10 candles. I want to play with that guy. How the fuck does that? How do I do that? Who is Hannah? Hannah's really good at 10 candles. I want to play with that. Who's Lynn? I don't know. Let's go find out. And then Nate, cool, sounds great. He's gonna run the game. Awesome. No idea who he is. And as it turns out, all 4 of you are 4 of the greatest TCRPG people on the planet, and I will fucking fight you to the death if you disagree. Josh, if you would truly believe that your time in this space is dead, I will fucking cast Revivify, Raise Dead, and True Resurrection all at the same time. I don't care how many diamonds I have to do that. I will make you, and I will put you in a game. I swear to fuck. Hannah forgot to mention that she wrote something for, she wrote a chapter of Icewind Dale. You should buy that and give her money and hire her because she's incredible. And as you've been able to see, this entire run of 2 years of playing Blades in the Dark. Lynn, I played 1 episode of Blades in the Dark, and then you signed up for Eulalia and you were instantly cast. I've never told you that before, but it was a done deal. And Nate, you are so ridiculously underrated. You are unbelievably talented. And after you take a break, I will pull you into something. I swear to fuck. I will fight people to the ends of the earth to make sure that happens. Thank you all so much for being here. I knew I was going to get emotional. I got super emotional on Tuesday. I'm going to get super emotional tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. But here's the deal. This was the first true non-D&D system that I've ever played. With the exception of Pathfinder, but y'all know the deal, whatever. This is my favorite system. This group is the reason why it's my favorite system. It's incredible. I got to co-GM it once. Don't worry, it's gonna happen again, boo boo. That's for another story and another time. However, if you're like, whoa, what was that? You really fucking need to go watch the first 2 seasons of the Ash Syndicate that we just teased, and on right there on Josh's channel, Saverick, on YouTube, and then run through this saga again on our YouTube channel here at the Amphitheater. Holy shit! So yeah, I'm calling everybody out. I don't give a fuck. I did do the call outs before Hannah does hers in a minute. So couple things of note tomorrow, because this is just a campaign finale week. Fables Once and Future, Carrion Comfort Studios. The finale is tomorrow. The part 2 of the finale is tomorrow. It is absolutely incredible. If you thought this was awesome, it is also awesome in a different, less murdery-ish way. There's murder, maybe. I don't know. You'll have to find out. Carrion Comfort Studios Twitch on at 8 o'clock. Sunday coming up, Duval and Dragons episode 43. How the fuck is there 43 episodes of our lovely Chrono Trigger D&D 5e campaign over there? And then back at it like a bad habit, right back here Tuesday night, Tal'Dorei Fields of Wonder, 8 p.m. Eastern time, episode 6 of that wonderful Team Small amazingness, as we figure out what the hell's next and probably cry some more. So before I toss it over to Hannah for her, for now, the final Hannah minute, as I like to call it, I'd like to remind you of a few things on the Amphitheater. That Black Lives Matter. Stop AAPI hate. Trans rights are motherfucking human rights. If you don't have a uterus, you don't get to tell people with uteruses what to do with theirs. It's not your uterus. Mind your goddamn business. Climate change is real, by the way. I know it's really, like, it's getting cool and stuff right now, but fucking remember and fucking educate yourself. Maybe read a newspaper or some comics or something. You know what? I'm going to add that to the list. Read some motherfucking comics. It's great. Support local businesses. I'm just adding shit now at this point. But, as always, remember to choose love when you have the opportunity to. Thank you so much for being here. Hannah, what do you got for me?
I don't know. I don't know if I've got anything better than read comics. But read comics is great advice. I guess we'll just start with our normal list of people we hate.
Sure.
Fuck Vladimir Putin. Although, congratulations on losing your war. How does that feel, sucker? Fuck Iran.
Oh shit, Ray coming in on the back end. What up?
Yeah. Fuck Herschel Walker. That hypocrite. I'm just in Georgia, so like of course I hate Herschel Walker because he's a fucking hypocrite. Props to Joe Biden for
dude, that marijuana shit, fucking amazing.
Yeah, for working on that. That's cool as shit. If your governor does not immediately pardon all state and local level offenses, then you need to start a petition and campaign for that shit because it's bullshit if they don't. Federal precedence is the whole point of federalism. So learn your constitution. Climate change is real. I want to add on to that. Learn the difference between climate and weather. Good job if you don't know the difference. I don't know who else we hate right now because
who else do we hate?
For comics threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one, right?
You know what? You know who we hate? We hate bad actors in the TTRPG scene that are like.
We sure fucking do. Fuck those motherfuckers.
Because like that sucks. And that's caused me a lot of anxiety this week. So
I understand.
But you know what? You were right, Jacob. When you can, choose love.
Exactly. And for those who just popping in the raid being like, whoa, what is happening? We just wrapped up a 2-year-long Blades of the Dark campaign. It ended with quite the crescendo. And by the way, if you're new to the Amphitheater, welcome. You should drop us a follow and watch that incredible VOD that's about to show up in your thingies or whatever. Don't worry, Josh, we don't have to play GURPS ever. Anyway.
Thank fuck.
I got you, fam. Maybe I'll make you do a one-shot.
No
anyway, so as always, thank you so much for being here. The dream continues. In the meantime, what's happening on Thursdays on the Amphitheater? There's a couple shows in the works in the new year. Maybe some familiar faces, combination of some new ones. I'll tell you who's running it though, just as fun. Won so many games. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna tell you the cast too. April Raygun, Obo Lauren, myself. Did I say Robo Goblin? Robo Goblin? I lost track of who I was saying. April, Obo Lauren, myself, Robo Goblin, Freckle Sketches, Jess of Duval Dragons fame. We out here, baby. Coming soon in the new year. Lots of shit to unpack. Magical professor ass. We're building schools, baby, because fuck terps. We out here. So those of you new, thank you for the raid. Make sure to drop us a follow. Lots of shit, cool shit happening here. We are going to raid the Queen, Persephoros, who's playing some Elden Ring. So bat down the hatches, drop some Duvals if you want to. And we are going to continue to cry about how awesome this fucking game is. If I know how to spell Persephoros username, which I do. Sephi's amazing. If you have not had a chance to meet Persephoros, aka Sephi, she's out fucking standing and out of this world incredible. We're gonna get out of here. Love you so much, and we'll see you very, very soon. Have a good night.
You are not alone.